What is up, my beautiful gemstones? Welcome to Friday night's live intuitive oracle with myself and Ghostdragonzw. So good to see you all here. Hopefully more people trickle in. I've noticed not as many people have been showing up the past few weeks, but we do what we can, and there are going to be so many amazing changes on this channel, mainly my doing reactions in place of the pre-recorded, so you guys still can get as much content as you were. I want to say thank you to everyone who ordered my book, my newest book that was released yesterday, Encounters with Evil, Volume 2. So there was an Amazon glitch. The glitch was with Amazon where it was available for Kindle and Audible in the US and Canada, but available for Kindle, Audible, and paperback in like Germany and all these other countries. The glitch fixed, I guess, itself or whatever in the middle of the night. So it is available on paperback now, but the Kindle version, as it always does, because you guys are so incredibly supportive and amazing in that way, it went to #1 new release almost immediately with the Kindle sales. So I really do appreciate that. If we can get it to a bestseller with the paperback, that would really be something. But even a bestseller with Kindle, it still is the bestseller title. And it just means the world to me. Let me come up here and say hello to everyone. Mark, thank you so much for your text. I don't know if I know a lot of us, like I'll get texts sometimes randomly when I'm having like a really bad day or going through something really traumatic, and I'll just get random texts from people, and yours just saying, have a great day. Really, that was awesome. It got to me at the exact right time that I needed just someone to say that, right? And I just can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Ghostdragonzw, Andrew, Mr. Nomeo, I hope you'll pop back in. Blue Crossroads wanted to know, is this the line to the free trip to the middle of Thailand? I'm ready to take a break for about 70 years. I said, nah, buddy, we going to Greece. We're going to Greece. We're going to go to Rome. We're going to go to Ireland, okay? And maybe even a world tour, but we'll do it like somehow under cloak of invisibility so nobody bothers us, right? Sorry, I keep sniffling. I should have grabbed a tissue, and I will. Josephine, thank you, sweetheart. And I do see you. Melissa Nicole, good morning. Mark Halstead. Yeah, Edna, so good to see you. I was beginning to think you didn't like me anymore. I was like, she's either really sick or she's another one who decided she doesn't want to support me anymore. Let me grab a tissue, guys, and then we're going to get started. Oh, let me bring it. Oh, he's not back there. Never mind. I've been getting a lot of people who have been messaging me and emailing me, telling me, you know, you are just off the rails politically and your shorts aren't funny and I just can't back you anymore. And I understand that, but my thing is, like, you don't have to follow me across platforms, right? And I do tell you guys all the time, like, my TikTok, I've gotten political. Now, I've been toning that down. I went for like a month or two where I just said like whatever. I just needed to get some stuff out, right? I feel like I'm willing to be quiet about my opinions and my ideas and where I stand on certain issues for my job, right? For my job. Now, YouTube, I don't make much, but what I do make, I make for Oracle, the paranormal. This is my job. So I'm much quieter. You will never see me, at least not in the foreseeable future, as far as I can tell, discussing things like the Carmelo Anthony case or what's her name, Jasmine Rivers, or the women-only gym. Like, I won't do it to you guys because that's not what you guys are here for. But my other platforms that I'm just starting out on, sometimes I will say something. It's just an opinion or an idea. And I always ask at the end, or I try to, you know, what do you guys think? But there's always this attack. And just so you guys know, too, I have Easter coming up on Sunday. I'm really upset. Last week, I spoke to you about the channel I write for and have been writing for years. I did speak to him on Saturday, and he basically said, I paid you. It's pending in Cash App. There's not enough money in there. You'll get it when you get it. I don't want you. I don't need you to write for me anymore. And I said, well, what about the 4 months worth of revenue? Don't know what you're talking about. I said, after everything we've been through, maybe, you know, I don't want to have to take this to social media. Like, can you just pay me the $150 so I can get through Easter, get some groceries? I said, and then we can talk about the rest. And I have all of this saved so that nobody can say I said anything I didn't say. I said, we can put all of that to the side just for now. Can you just please pay me the $150 you owe me for the scripts that I wrote in February that he still owes me for? I said, and we can talk about the rest down the line, you know, when the business gets better and the channel gets moving. He's like, I'm not going back and forth with you. Go ahead and try to go to social media. Nobody likes you anyway. Okay. All right. So that channel basically screwed me out of a bunch of money. But what I did learn from that is no matter if it's a friend or a random person, I will henceforth always have a contract. That way I'm covered, the other person's covered. And but I've been kind of like in my head about that, like after everything, really. And to say that like I'm a loser with no following, so nobody listens to me anyway. And it's just like, wow, like what a low blow. If I had 300 and some odd thousand subscribers, I don't think I would have the audacity to make fun of a smaller channel, knowing that I was there once too, right? How frustratingly I've been trying to get to 7,000, 10,000. I am closer to 10,000 though now. I didn't even realize how close like almost 6,000 is to 10,000. And I got excited about that the other day. I want to put out more. I'm not trying to just do Oracle in shorts. And it's important I say this, guys, and I'll be done in a minute. So don't worry, I'm not going to bog you down all night with this. A lot of people also messaged me about like the Bad Baby rap short that I put on there twice. Why are you doing this ghetto stuff? It makes no sense. The reason, if you see me doing something that makes no sense, or like there's a lot of curse words, or it doesn't seem to fit and it's not funny, usually the reason I'm doing that is because it's already something that's viral. Meaning if I jump on the bandwagon with this viral thing, because it's already viral, there's more of a chance of YouTube pushing it out and letting more people see it. So do I want to be rapping Bad Baby lyrics? Not particularly, but I got a ton of views and I got a ton of new people seeing me because I did it. So nothing I ever do is meant to be offensive on YouTube, right? And nothing I really say on TikTok is either, but I guess some people get an idea of you as a person, or of me, of, you know, people look at you and they expect, because of the way you look, you're supposed to be a certain way. And I've just been struggling through not gaining, not being where I expected to be at 4.5 years in. So those of you who stick with me and stick by me through this transitional period, I'm hoping I can make it worth your while. And I hope you guys, you know, don't ever regret doing that. But as far as politics, you know, I've been thinking about even toning it down on TikTok. It's just, I've tried. I was like, maybe this is where I'll go. And I have such strong opinions. I feel like they might be too strong to be able to do both things. And I don't want to give up the paranormal. Thank you. Thank you, Anna. And I'm glad you're at least feeling better. You know, sleep is very, as you probably know, refreshing and rejuvenating, not just like physically though. It does spiritually reconnect us. When we're sleeping, our spirits are out there, you know, in the ether, astrally traveling and meeting with our higher selves and having meetings with our teams. And our souls are doing all of these things. One last thing, it was kind of funny that happened to me this week. I got a message in the comments and someone said, you know, I've been watching you for 4 years. Someone I've never seen before. I don't believe they've ever commented before. And I'm thinking, oh, a fan. I've been watching you for 4 years. And every day when you pop up that you're doing something, I just pray to God. And I pray to God that the damage from how stupid, idiotic, moronic, ugly, losery, fake, on and on, like this list of all these horrific adjectives, that the damage you've done to people with all that is minimal. And I'm like, oh, okay. I just think I'm really uncomfortable now because I feel like the person that screwed me over again is going to try to screw me even more. You know, the last time when I tried to speak out about something that was being done to me involving that channel, I lost a lot of opportunities with people just taking sides. But I guess I'm just pissed off, you know. He screwed me out of $150 and it's Easter. So Anyway, if you hear the rumors, you heard it here first. Let's move on and let's have a great night. What's up, Miss Pixie? Hi. Surprise.
Hello, everybody. I hope everybody's
I'm
well.
so happy to be here.
And I have nothing else.
I do have something I gotta check for Miss Tennille tonight in her timestamp. So other than that, let's just get started. Josephine paid. We got the members in here. And don't forget donations, guys, if you can. I do appreciate it. It's Easter weekend. Yeah, I've got some doctor's appointments coming up too, guys. Like, something's really severely wrong with my sugar. I recently stopped a medication I was on for like 4 years. I was on gabapentin and I was on a super high dose. Then, like, we brought it down. But then I went from 600 milligrams twice a day to either 3 or 200. I think 300 milligrams twice a day, then 300 milligrams once a day, then nothing at all ever. And that was over the course of like 3 or 4 months. It was like boom, 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 off. I have been a complete and total zombie for the last few weeks, but I'm finally feeling better. So who's first?
Blue.
All right. Blue, I'm going to use energy and spirit. Yeah, Miss Pixie, how are you doing? I don't get to see you guys much anymore, just Friday nights, but we are working in some new live streams for Stephen and I. I'm not a good interviewer. Like, I'm just not very good at it. We may have a show where we interview guests, but we're going to be just doing some other things. Like, we're going to be reacting to things together. I'll have the pre-recorded reactions. Then you guys can send me, like, you guys are always sending me your paranormal pictures and videos and photos. You guys can send me that and I can react to it in real time. Ghostdragonzw and I can react to things. Like, I think reactions are the way to go. Good icebreakers. It could be funny, serious. I can do all different things. It's not like the same exact thing every week. And I think once I get used to doing it that way, I can do the pre-recordeds again without having to read. And like I think if the pre-recordeds were more conversational, they'd get more views, but it's just too hard for me right now to be able to do that. All right, you got the card of freedom. It is the cover card, actually. And you got it in the upright. Moving on and letting go, card number 4. Blue, this card could reveal a time of new freedoms involving recent breakups, maybe, or some sort of energetic disconnection. This may be the dismantling of a romance, friendship, or family relationship, or even a job or career. Whatever the experience, the present energy is saying the moment has come to let go. Any type of separation can be difficult, even if the break is initiated by you. The grief and lifestyle adjustments can feel overwhelming. But this card is telling you to take heart, for this is the right time for you to free yourself from what's been holding you back. In fact, this card could be signaling emotions of liberation and great relief. You could be on the cusp of something very beneficial, such as the resolution of an ongoing problem or the healing of a long-term illness. Either way, call on Spirit's guidance, for a great shift in consciousness is about to take place. Trust that you have the ability to move on and create an exciting new reality. Now, you have recently, no. You have, I always tell you guys, okay, let me give you the full picture, okay? Don't just go by the book. The book's very general. I feel like you've gained freedom recently, as in like the last year, with this big move and the job change and things that you're doing personally, people you're doing things personally with, and things like that. But I feel like this is you not really obtaining freedom in that way, ending relationships or moving. Like, you've already done all that. You've already done all of the freedom finding for the most part. I feel like this is, sorry, my son's outside and my window's open and I could hear him. This is like I'm trying to think, like a new, it's a spiritual thing, right? Not freeing yourself spiritually, but I feel like you are finding some new way of thinking about something having to do with spirituality. I feel like you're coming into this really massive, major understanding of something. So what it could be literally anything. I'm just going to throw out some ideas: soul contracts, soulmates, twin flames. There's something, it's like, I feel like you're just going to be like, maybe hear something in passing that's going to pique your interest. The reason this is important and the reason it's saying freedom is because once your eyes are opened to whatever this spiritual thing is, I feel like it's going to greatly change the way that you're living. Right. And I know this may not make any sense to you right this minute, but as it's happening in the next couple of weeks, as you find your way back to religion, or as you find your way more into religion or spirituality, it's going to be one or the other. It's something that's really going to heighten and awaken your spiritual senses way more than anything that you've physically done in the last couple of years. This is real spiritual connection. So I don't know if it's going to come in the form of a dream, a download from your guides or ancestors. The way they're showing it to me, and this could be literally what it is you're like walking and you just hear someone say something in passing. You kind of tuck whatever it is in the back of your head. You get home, you do some research, and boom, there it is. This is spiritual advancement. This is the culmination of all of the changes you've made, the hard things you've done and you've come to accept, the great things you've done and the not so great things you've done in the past year to year and a half. As you were making all of these major changes, you've become spiritually heightened. And spiritually speaking, you're going to want to seek more and look for more. And that's going to be a new part of your path and journey, more so, I think, than it ever has been before, or at the very least than it was in a long time in the next few months. Morbid Princess, welcome.
You ready? Josephine is next. Hello,
Okay.
Morbid Princess, and welcome.
Miss Josephine, we're going to use Deep, Dark, and Dangerous. Miss Divine Empathic, what's up, girl? Josephine, you got Hypnos, the card of rest. And again, I'm sorry if you can hear my son. He's outside playing. Card number 20. Josephine, prioritize rest and sleep. Allow yourself to dream. You need the grace of rest to be at your best. The unconscious has great depth and power, so explore it if you can. Use your imagination. Do not stay asleep to your potential. Awaken to your power. In this busy world, people are having more and more problems with turning off and getting some quality rest and sleep. The ancients, though, knew how important sleep was, how it is even a crucible for processing ideas and invention. Hypnos was the Greek god of sleep and was born from Nyx, night, the dark mother. A twin, he was often pictured hand in hand with his brother Thanatos, who is death. Often the brothers would shadow each other in their work. While featuring in a number of myths, Hypnos was generally seen as a benevolent and relief-inducing deity and honored for his place in well-being and health. Temples to Hypnos were often constructed in sanctuaries and healing places. The Greeks also recognized that too much sleep could be a symptom of depression or lethargy. Continually disconnecting from the world by slipping hand in hand with Hypnos may well mean you are depressed or lacking in energy, both situations for which you should reach out and seek professional assistance. In one story, Hera bribes Hypnos to practice his arts on Zeus so that her favored Heracles gets to make yet another outrageous escape. This is about as naughty as Hypnos gets. In this case, he receives a beautiful bride for his trouble, so worth it. In our modern lives, there's also another time that Hypnos' favor should be courted, and that is in anesthesia. If you are undergoing an operation, why not give a little libation to Hypnos prior to the procedure, as it is traditionally Hypnos who will be guiding the hand of your anesthetist as they artfully send you to a painless sleep. Your plant companion is Poppy, and your crystal companion is Howlite. Juan, what's up? So, yeah, Miss Josephine, I feel as though almost like the same thing like with blue. This is you becoming awake to something, right? Now, if you're oversleeping, feeling not quite yourself, obviously you should get professional help. I'm not a doctor of any kind. But Josephine, I feel like in the next couple of weeks, it's like, I just keep hearing like, don't sleep on this. Don't sleep on this, right? Don't turn away from things that need to be done just because they seem overwhelming, right? Or it seems like you may have to be a little confrontational. There's something here that I feel like you've been putting off. And it's not really, I'm not seeing it as a putting it off of doing. It's more of like a putting off of acknowledging, right? Like, I know this is happening around me, but I just cannot deal with it right now. Like, I can't. So you keep going on about, pretending your partner isn't cheating, or pretending, your child isn't doing, I don't know, something bad, Gemma examples. Josephine, in the next week or two, it will be imperative that you wake up and you stop standing for less than in several areas of your life. If you know someone's doing you dirty, treating you badly, doing you wrong, you must confront it. Do not stay asleep to it, because it's causing you other sorts of stresses. If you're constantly trying to pretend that, for example, and I'm not saying your partner is cheating, but if you're constantly trying to pretend every second of every day and every time it comes up that your partner isn't cheating, how focused can you possibly be on other things that matter? Because it's always going to be in the back of your head, right? This is confronting things as they happen and going back to confront things you've allowed to go on for way too long. And this needs to be done in the very, very near future. Otherwise, it's just going to get so far ahead of you that it could end up with these disastrous results, right? You're not confronting the fact in this scenario that your partner's cheating for a year. They've now been having a year-long affair with somebody. So if you don't nip this in the bud soon and find out like what the heck is going on, right? They're going to run off. And now you understand, like, it's going to be this snowball effect of things happening to you, very negative things, but it's all stuff that could have been avoided had you not turned away from it and pretended like it wasn't happening. I don't think anything you have to face up to in the coming weeks is going to be easy, okay? I don't feel like it's something small that you're going to be able to handle in a couple of hours. I think this is going to take a lot of thought, a lot of effort, and it could make you want to just go to sleep, want to just, stay asleep to all of these things or these people, but you are not being treated fairly in some area. And it's about time that stopped being the norm in your life. You deserve better. You've worked hard to get through a lot of things, ways that you've been treated by people and was so undeserving and so unfair. And you're still here and you're still surviving and you're still hopeful and you're still, striving to achieve great things. But the lesson in the next couple of weeks is going to be like, this is important enough for you to stop what you're doing and make sure everyone who's in your life knows that you are not going to be talked down to, treated poorly, cheated on, lied to. Like, you need to stand on business and put your foot down with someone. And I see it in more than one area as well. So this isn't just you having to confront one person. This is, again, that snowball effect of things and people that you've just were like, whatever, let them say what they say, whatever, but it's all now piled on your back. And one of the main reasons you may not be feeling like yourself in the next couple of weeks is because you've taken on all this negative energy and decided that instead of releasing it by talking about it, confronting people, being proactive, you are just going to carry it with you until the time is right. If you're waiting for the right time is now. You are not going to be able to move forward into success in any area of your life until you deal with what's right in front of you. Morbid princess, that's terrible. A lot of times light workers go through things like that. I know, like, for me, people, even in my real life, but online as well, I don't even get a word out and they decide they don't like me. And a lot of the time, it's that our light will irritate their demons. It irritates something inside of them. that they may not even be aware of. It's like, why don't I like this person? You know, they're not aware of it. But it happens so much to people like us, to light workers, to people with abilities, that people just, if they're not our tribe, they tend to really dislike us and really treat us poorly. And they may not even know why, or their reasoning may not even be the actual reason. It's a spiritual disconnection. They can't like they can't, I'm trying to think of the word. We'll see it and know what it is, right? Oh, they're jealous of me for some reason. Or, oh, that person's a jerk to like, we'll be able to call out what it is, but they just can't make the connection of why we irritate them so much. And it's because our lights, our brightness, our connection to the divine, our energy in general just overwhelms their darkness.
Your next is Melissa. Hello, everybody. For those who didn't get
Excuse me, Kelly Lewis, what's up? Miss Melissa. I'm going to use myths and mermaids. I don't think Netter will be with us tonight. He said he's going to the city. Nutslap probably forgot again.
Hot child in the city. Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. Melissa, you got Triumph of Galatea, card number 21, in the upright position. A sea nymph and her admirers enjoy a magnificent chariot ride pulled by a pair of feisty dolphin fish. This miniature scene is set against the backdrop of a lovely lady's portrait, which suggests they're being watched. Divination meaning you are being watched. Lately, you have been having fun at the expense of getting the job done, and so far there have been no serious repercussions. But be warned, someone has been keeping an eye on you, and you won't get away with this kind of behavior forever. Perhaps she's jealous of your carefree ways or simply irritated at your lack of responsibility. In any case, it's time to straighten up and do what you're supposed to do before you get called out. Now, there's twofold reading here for you, Melissa. The first thing that I saw was, don't shirk your responsibilities. Even though you may have an absolutely valid reason to call into work or to, not fulfill a promise or a commitment to someone, right? You may have a valid reason. The problem that I'm seeing with it in the next couple of weeks is that someone simply doesn't like you and they're looking for any reason to try to get you fired, to try to turn people against you, to try to make your life a living hell. Make sure if you're responsible to, for doing something, you get it done. No excuses, even if they're very, very valid. If it's physically possible, fulfill your commitments and obligations, particularly in the next 2 weeks. You could end up losing your job or, friends, family. Like, there is a major loss here if you don't, because somebody is definitely out to point a finger at you. Now, this could also be social media bullying, right? Watch what I don't know why this just popped in, but watch what you're putting out there on social media, because not everyone, like, for example, a long time ago, I did a video about an abusive relationship I was in, and I talked about the repercussions of that. And most people were not sympathetic. Most people called me a liar. Most people, there were people who said, they wish that the person had unalived me. Like, people are just very cruel. And I feel like people are going to be not very understanding in the next few weeks with you. Now, being watched, the second portion of this reading is who. You know, he's keeping a very close eye on you. I feel like he definitely has an inkling that something's changed. So whether he actually knows that because you've said it to him, right? You've said it to him a million times before, and that's no shade or judgment or indictment. You know that. But he knows that something is different, right? You're spiritually learning and growing and changing. And even though it's not happening this week, you are on the precipice of leaving this behind for once and for all. I can't tell you when it'll happen. It depends on your own free will and opportunities you choose to see and accept and follow through with. But he knows something is different. And that makes me feel danger. Okay. It makes me feel like the violence is going to be like more violence, right? If you don't play along. Now, I'm not saying, you know, that I want you to be at his beck and call, at his feet, or at his mercy. But what I am saying is be very, very careful. And I think I've said this to you many times before, who you talk to about this particular situation, because not everyone believes you, not everyone cares, and not everyone is your friend. In fact, I see like it could be a situation where somebody is trying to actually pump you for information just to... That was about 60 Oracle decks. Pump you for information just so that they can go back to him and be like, well, this is what she said. That stinks. That is a lot of mess I'm going to have to clean up. Ah, well. All right, who's next?
Aunt Edna.
Miss Aunt Edna, let's use goddess power. Yeah, and you know what? His mom doesn't have the right to do that. Nobody has the right to do that. And I'm definitely not saying don't talk about it. I'm just saying maybe like with social media and stuff, it might be a good idea in the next couple weeks just to lay low, right? People like him are going to expose themselves anyway. I don't know what possible reason she could have for thinking that she's in any position after the way her son treats you to dictate what you put on social media. I am a boy mom. I have 4 sons. 3 are adults. 1 is my little guy. And if I ever found out they were doing something like that, I would beat them over my knee with a belt. And if I couldn't get them over my knee because my kids are much bigger than me, I would just whip them wherever I could. Like, you don't put your hands on females. Now, there's this whole thing with like matching energy. Like, I also did not teach my sons to stand there and get smacked around by women. You know, you match energy. But what he does to you is wrong. And his mother has a lot of nerve. That's just my opinion. And this card popped out and I had to look like, should we take it? We're going to take it. It's the card of Schools, card number 47 in the upright. The future. As you set your intentions for the life you desire, the Norse goddess Skuld comes to show you glimpses of your future. You experience these magical journey markers as flashes of insight and moments of inspiration, like an echo of something that exists in another dimension. It's fun when things turn out exactly as you predicted, but remember that the essence of your intention makes more than its form. The goddess Skuld, who rules the destiny of gods and men, says remaining true to the moment is your greatest power. Allowing the self to evolve as you go and discovering new things today sets the path for destiny to unfold. The power of the present and how you respond to life's potential is the potent, fertile seed of the future. In order to claim the future, you must attend to the now. Even then, nothing is guaranteed and everything is infused with magic. What's up, Nutslap? Nice, shepherd's pie. That actually sounds delicious. And in the next couple of weeks, I do feel like you could be stressing about some area of your future more so than you've been either ever or a while, right? It's like this one thing you're worried about. what happens if this happens? You know what I'm saying? And it's perfectly okay to want to plan ahead and make sure, if anything happens to you, God forbid, your family's taken care of, or to make sure, there are things in place for this emergency or that event. What the universe is saying here, though, is in the next couple of weeks, if it hasn't happened already, you might receive some news that makes you feel like you've got to start planning something, right? So I'm trying to think of a good example, but it's like, don't believe free will is going to turn something in your favor in the coming few weeks. Something that you feel might be set in stone, or that, a doctor tells you this is your diagnosis and, plan accordingly, do this, do that. I feel like there's like your free will, or there's something here that's going to change that even minutely, to the point where you don't have to worry so much, where everything's not exactly as you're being told it is. And I don't think it's because anyone's purposefully keeping something from you, though. I mean, that could always be the case. I feel like something was missed. Someone interpreted something wrong. Like, I'm just using this as an example. Your sister calls and tells you that, she's divorcing her husband of 40 years because she found out he's cheating and she needs to come stay with you. So you start planning for her to come stay with you. And then a week from now, you find out that it was actually a big mix up. She realizes how foolish she was and she's not. But you've already made all these plans. You've even put money into like setting up the spare bedroom. Like, don't go crazy making plans in the next 2 weeks. Anything that you're told, anything that happens, anything that you feel the need to like prepare for, just do me a favor and give it a week. A week from the time you hear about whatever it is. Because I feel as though the universe is working in your favor very much right now in one specific area of your life where you are worried about what happens when, or what happens if. And the universe is like, no, you don't have to worry about that just yet. And moving people, places, and things into the spots that you need them to be in order for this, whatever it is, to change. So don't go crazy. Don't get all hyped up or riled up over something unless it is 1,000,000% set in stone. If even something is a 99% chance, I'm telling you, the tables are going to turn and it's going to end up being the 1% thing. I really hope that makes sense the way I explained it. If it didn't, let me know, and I'll try to go into a little more detail of the way that I'm seeing this. Justin, what's up? And welcome. Roger Blair, howdy. Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Hello, folks. Just walked in. Hey, Mr. Roger, Mr. Blair. Next is Mark.
Mark Hall said, I'm going to use the Halloween Oracle. Oh, nice. I just feel like there's misinformation coming in, and do you know what I mean? Like someone says something to you that makes you very nervous, or that makes you feel like you've got to get up and run and go do something. And the fact of the matter is, it's actually inaccurate. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. The only example I could give would be a very macabre one that I'm really not wanting to give. But just don't take everything and everyone at their face value in the next week or two. All right. Make sure, you do your own research, your own investigations before you lay any money down or make any promises for the future. That does sound pretty awesome. I have a creek running through my backyard too, but I only have 1.5 acres, but it's still beautiful. Mark, you got the ghost card, the card of regrets. Welcome back, Morbid Princess. Here I go. The traditional definition of a ghost is the apparition of the spirit or soul of a formerly living being. Ghosts can be both in human form or animal, and even occasionally inanimate objects such as ghostly ships have been reported. The belief in spirits and ghosts is extremely widespread across time and cultures, and different words such as spiritus, wraith, phantom, and shade have been used to refer to them. Ghosts can be both people that we have known, ancestors, for example, who visit to assist us, or presences that are bound to a particular place because they have found it difficult to let go even after death. The concept of the haunted house or the cursed place is the basis for many a creepy ghost story. In fact, the most interesting ghost stories often involve a very angry or destructive spirit coming back to wreak its revenge after death. The Old Norse word for ghost has the same root as the word fury. It is said that the spirits that cannot let go of this world have a reason for this. Sometimes it's to warn the living to guide them, but generally it's because they haven't finished their quote-unquote business here on this plane of the living. They have regrets that they wish to resolve. Should the ghost come gliding into your life during divination, it may indicate that you have some regrets you need to let go of. Holding grudges or regrets is burdensome work, and it weighs us down eventually. By taking actions to free ourselves of these old burdens, we clear the way for more rightful and wise action for the future. We can begin to live again fully if we let go of what was and step into new possibilities. So, Mark, yeah, I am feeling some regret here, but I'm not really sure it's actually regret that you're harboring yourself. I feel like it could be being put on you, right? Whether actively right now with someone pointing a finger at you and saying, shame on you, XYZ, or with you thinking back to something that was said to you, right? Something that was blamed on you. I don't know why you'd be reminiscing on this in the coming weeks, but I do feel like it does have the ability to really bring you down and make you distracted and lose focus from the bigger picture issues in your life. When we're dealing with spiritual dis-ease, it does have an effect on how we are physically, and sometimes it can cause physical disease or even just physical dis-ease, not feeling that great, not feeling that well inside of our bodies. What the universe, what your team is saying here in the next couple of weeks specifically is don't let anyone hang anything on you, right? If you're responsible for something, if you've hurt somebody, if you've made a mistake, whatever the case may be, say you're sorry for once and for all and move on. And if that's something you've already done, there's no reason you should have to do it again. Either someone's going to accept your apology and move on or stay friendly, or they're not. Don't let someone manipulate you, guilt you, belittle you into apologizing for something either you've already apologized for and specifically for something you don't feel responsible for. All it is at the end of the day, and all it's going to be, is a distraction from the spiritual work you're doing, your spiritual wellness. This is a trick the enemy uses, whatever you want to call the enemy, dark souls, the devil, Satan, like whatever. There are dark forces around you, and you know that. They're around all of us. You're just a lot more aware of them than most people. As a matter of fact, most of us are, okay? Mark, be mindful of who you try to befriend, who tries to befriend you, right? In the next couple of weeks, you don't have to do this forever, but I would recommend in the next couple of weeks being very aware of people's intentions and motivations with you surrounding your relationship with them, right? Like if somebody who you haven't spoken to in 3 years calls you up and invites you for a night out on the town, be suspicious of why they've done that. Because I don't feel like someone's trying to make an amends with you. Somebody is trying to either get revenge on you for a perceived wrong or slight, or they're trying to manipulate you into doing something for them that you really don't want to do. Be very, very mindful of other people's motivations with you in the next 2 weeks. Who's next? Private chat, please.
Next is Miss Pixie. Okay.
All right, Miss Pixie. You're welcome, Mark. Nice. HelloFresh has a shepherd's pie. I love shepherd's pie. Yeah, I'm not sure, though. Ghost. We're going to use Della and Wait. I haven't used this one in a while. Luckily, when all my decks just now fell over, this one popped out, and I was like, yeah, we need to use that one tonight. I have on the hot pink Frenches right now. Not my nicest set, but they're little and cute. Miss Pixie, you got Mary Poppins, card number 25. I love HelloFresh. I can't afford HelloFresh anymore, but I used to buy it all the time. I'm a nanny, but a very unusual one, you might say. I come down from the sky when children need me. I bring magic within my bag. When I appear, get ready to dance on rooftops, to be transported into drawings, or to learn unpronounceable nonsense words. But I also like discipline. I want things to be done efficiently and promptly. And when the wind changes, I must leave. But in the meantime, I fixed everything that needed fixing in the family I stayed with. Boy, there could never have been a better card for you. Just this wonderful, beautiful, life-altering in the best possible way, getting stuff done woman, right? That is you. Magic has to be mixed with discipline. Be creative, bring enchantment to the world, spread sparkles all around, but don't forget to incorporate a little etiquette and deportment. Order and method can do no harm to imagination. It's even the opposite. Magical creations can be magnified by some constraint. So stand up straight, tidy your room, and fly high in the sky. No, really, I mean that in the most loving way possible. It's such a beautiful thing, and she's such a wonderful character. So, Miss Pixie, what I'm seeing here in the next couple of weeks is like, don't get too carried away. And that sounds crazy because it's what we do in this community, right? We do the outlandish and we get carried away in everything we do. We get caught up in it because it's about spiritual connection, and it's very hard to not get excited and kind of over amped up about it. I feel in the next couple of weeks, there's an opportunity you've been waiting for a while, and it's come up several times. And I told you, if you don't recognize it now, it's going to keep coming back around because it's part of your destiny, something you're meant to be doing. And I do think it's within this community, even if not on YouTube, just in the mediumship, psychic, paranormal community, this opportunity. It's like what you were meant to do, at least for a little while. When the opportunity presents itself, make sure that you're, and I know you always are, make sure that you're very honest about, you know, how far you've come, what you're able to do, what you're able to accomplish. There's nothing wrong, and I'm hearing this, there's nothing wrong with admitting that you don't know how to do something, but also don't let people, and people have done this to me so much, don't let people make you feel wrong for the things that you are able to do simply because they don't believe in it. They're jealous. Like there's some angle here that someone I see is playing with you in the next couple of weeks. And it may not even be like something you've noticed, but it's like excessive trolling, right? Or getting that feeling, and I'm sure you've had this happen. I think you might have. I've had it happen a lot. Getting that feeling that someone's coming to you for help just so they can get a gotcha on you, you know? And it's like, what this is talking about is not toning down your magic. It's not toning down your knowledge, your experience, your expertise. It's just kind of reining in who you're willing to help, when, and why. This is about, and I'm seeing it very clearly, not helping just anyone that comes to you for help. Okay, because I feel like that is going to somehow, and disastrous is the word that I'm hearing. It's like there are people who just have nothing better to do, know nothing about you, and they're like, I'm going to get this person to help me, especially because most, if not all of what you do, as far as I know, is free, right? With me, it's very easy for people to do this to me because I do everything for super cheap. So it doesn't cost them a lot to expose me. And I feel like somebody could be taking this amazing opportunity, yes, that's about to come in for you, or that you're going to start maybe looking into to create the opportunity for yourself, one or the other, and they're going to try to twist it into something negative. They're going to try to make you feel, or make others around you feel like you're not worthy, like you're less than, or you're undeserving. Someone is looking at you through a very, very jealous lens. And I don't even think you're aware. I think you're thinking you're making new friends, you're making acquaintances, and that's what we do. You're very open. Most of us are. We tend to trust people until they give us a reason not to, instead of trust being something you have to earn with us. That's just kind of who we are as individuals. But there is someone here that does not have good intentions, Miss Pixie, with you, and they're not seeking help. They're seeking a nice, audio clip that they can play to whoever to make you look bad, to make the community look bad, lumping you in with these hucksters who, by the way, do very, very, very well on YouTube. I was thinking that the other day. I'm like, people are coming at me, and there are so many people who are just playing a role, which is great, great for them. But I could not be so dishonest. I'd feel horrible. Yes, they're looking for gotcha. And I don't think it's just you. Like, I'm seeing this energy aimed at myself, and a few other people are popping into my head. I don't know what's going on, but be very, very careful who you let in to your inner sanctum, into your personal life, and who you put energy towards to try and help. Not everyone deserves the help that you can give them, right? If they're not seeking it in earnest, they're not going to be able to hold on to whatever you give them anyway. It's going to just go right by them. And Edna, that is beautiful. And Edna said, I used to pray to be a better person. Now I pray for discernment. Nutslap, I was called that the other day, and I was like, what's a huckster? And I was like, oh, the fake remote viewers, the people who don't pay their staff, like all these very successful people who are incredibly dishonest. But, if it takes me years longer to get there being honest, then it's all worth it for me. Who's next?
Divine is next. Divine, you still here, hon?
If not, can you time it for her? I know sometimes she's in and out. She's got meetings and whatever else. I'm using Dark Goddess. Fingernail chicken. I'll show you. Someday I will teach you how to make fingernail chicken. Pele. Transformation. You're very welcome. I hear Ray. He's like, the window's open. You're yelling under the window. Your mother's trying to live stream. And I hear RJ go, what about that? What about that? Oh, nice. Well, we can timestamp it for you. Happy birthday. I actually say that all the time now. And now I'm like, listen, I am awesome. If you have a problem with me, you've got to look and find out what's wrong with you. Because Divine, temper is frayed, time to cool. Fears must not be let to rule. Work with fire's high vibration, welcoming in transformation. By the power of the dark goddess in me, protection in place, blessed be. The heat is on, and you have found yourself at a boiling point. The pressure has become too much, and you just can't keep a lid on anything at the moment. Annoyances, irritations, and infuriation have exasperated you until you have been left steaming. Pele, the volcanic Hawaiian goddess, recognizes the shadow side that has consumed you of late and warns that if you continue, you just may get your fingers burned. So invite Pele in to purify and release you from the blazing trail you've left in your wake. Allow her flames to lick away old hurts and wounds, replacing them with a sacred glow. Use this powerful opportunity to transform, reinvent yourself, and become the phoenix that dies and is reborn. The essence and turmoil now consumed. It is time for you to re-emerge through the flames of passion as Pele ignites your heart and step forward into a newly transformed you. Take the pressure off, move on. You're no longer resonating with what you once did. Embrace the element of fire. Partake in a fire walk. Make a list of what fuels your passions. Take steps toward your goals. A change for the better is on the horizon. I don't feel so much like you're, overly consumed with anger or, frustration, though I do feel that you're feeling it a lot more than normal these days, right? With one particular situation. What this card is saying for you is don't let yourself get to that point where you're, the boiling point where your rage bubbles over. And then we've talked about this before, I think it was you, where it's like somebody is purposefully trying to get you to act out of character, to blow up. They poke the bear, and then when the bear lashes out, they have their camera out like, look, the bear is attacking me, right? Like that's this kind of energy still. And whether it's stopped for a little while and now it's, it's coming back in, or whether it's something that's been continuously going on, somebody is there just yanking your chain, trying to get you to react. The universe is telling you right here with this card that it's going to be very dangerous for you. Maybe not dangerous. That's not the right word. It's not going to be good for you. You're not going to gain, win, obtain, achieve anything by lashing out. The problem is I feel like the powers that be, whomever should be helping you with whatever this is, they're really kind of dragging their feet, right? So whether like somebody said, don't worry, you can go back to your, just a silly example, your $1 million a year job. I'll watch your daughter during the day in the summer. And then you keep asking them like, all right, I'm going to take the job back. You've been saying the last 6 months, you're going to do this, right? Because I'm going to let them know. They're not answering. They're ignoring you. Or they're like, oh, I'll let you know next week. Like this is something so important. And they're just like, I'll get to it. You know what I mean? And I feel like that is what is going to overwhelm you. I feel like you're already so used to this other person or these other people's antics that you're just like, you're on to them. There's not really much of a risk of you blowing your top, but the dragging of the feet by some entity here, maybe a lawyer or someone in a court system or a school, like somebody here is not doing their job, and it's causing you to miss out on things, to lose out on things, and not to receive justice. Because every time I pull a card for you, I see the scales just bouncing, right? There's no balance still. Divine, in the next couple of weeks, make sure you stay on your toes, be mindful of people trying to get a rise out of you to make you look bad, but also hold others accountable when they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing and when they're not doing what they said they were going to do. It's okay. And that's exactly how this happened for me. I finally, for the first time in years, said, listen, you said this and you didn't do it. And I'm upset about that. And the minute I said that, instead of just saying, no, it's okay, whatever you need to, the minute I said that, they were like, actually, we don't need you anymore. And good luck with your last paycheck. People don't want to be held accountable. Most people can't handle that, to say like, oh, you know what? You're right. I did. My bad. Here's what's actually happening. And this is the best I could. They just don't care enough. Particularly when they're in a job or in a situation where they get used to being able to behave that way, like DMV workers, perfect example, right? They're so used to just being able to be like, oops, sorry, I don't like what you're saying, so this line's closed, and walk off, right? They're so used to it. Hold people accountable for their actions. No more, no less. And be accountable for yours, as I know that you are. And I feel like you will get a lot done. Your voice will be heard a lot more, and it will be a lot louder, resonate for a lot longer with a lot more people in the next 2 weeks. There's just this really great energy for you standing in your power and saying, I'm not asking for anything other than what I was promised, what I paid for, what I, whatever the case may be. do not sleep on yourself, right? Do not think, oh, I don't want to stir the pot, or, oh, I don't want to make that person mad. Like, it doesn't matter. If somebody's not doing what they said they're going to do, what they promised to do, what they're supposed to be doing, you step up and hold their butts accountable. You have every single right. And when you're in the right, the universe will form a line to back you up.
Okay, private chat. And Kelly Lewis is next, okay?
All right, Miss Kelly. So we have Kelly and then Nutslap, and then I'm going to be doing timestamps unless we missed anyone or anyone wants to pay for a reading or donate. It's Easter weekend. If you guys could do that, that would be awesome, to my PayPal or Cash App. Kelly, I am going to be, what are we going to use for you? Let's use Magic of You. I am going to be coming up with some more things for my members as well, as these streams get shorter and shorter. I knew the moment I started charging even a little bit, I was going to lose some people. I had no idea I would go from 50 to 60 a night to 10 to 15. But that's kind of what I'm talking about, where like I need to make some changes so that I can do what I want to do in this community, so that I can keep you guys happy, but also so that I get paid for the work that I do. So bear with me. There's going to be a lot of transitions in the next couple of months, but I'm going to get to a place where I make it work for all of us, just like it was working for a while, and then it just wasn't anymore. So we're going to be doing reactions, perhaps more live streams and things like that. Have a good evening, sweetie. Enjoy. All right, Miss Kelly. Booho, card number 2. Transform the way you see. If you want to transform the world, start by transforming the way you see it. Pay attention to positive and pleasing things, and do not be distracted by anything that makes you feel sad or hopeless. You observe with your heart and your eyes. Grow in wisdom as you witness the world shaping itself according to the way you see it. Know that wisdom evolves and is not static or fixed. It is time to not only look outside at the world, but also to look into yourself, Kelly, and comprehend the role you play in the events taking shape around you. Let what you observe transform you. Be uplifted by what you now know about even challenging facts and difficult truths. They are further opportunities for growth and transformation. The girl of Booho holds the owl, wisdom, and the butterfly, transformation, on her index fingers. Power, as she gazes on her world curiously and confidently. Booho also means people are watching you and noticing your courage, good deeds, and personal transformation, and that these qualities will be rewarded. Booho appears when a reward, bonus, or notification of approval is about to be received. Okay. I feel as though, Kelly, this is actually a really great message. You're welcome, sweetheart. Anytime. This is a really great message for you for the coming weeks. I feel like there's one particular specific situation that you've put a lot of time into, a lot of effort, maybe a lot of tears, a lot of emotion, energy. There's just a lot, whether it's higher vibrational happy, lower vibrational sad, whatever. You've been feeding a situation probably for a long time, probably off and on. The other end of it, it could be something you recently just started and like really threw yourself into, like, I want to achieve this, I want to accomplish this, I want to obtain this, whatever the case may be, right? So in the next couple of weeks, make sure, and I guess accountability is the theme tonight, because it's like you might, in your fervor, in your wanting to do the very, very best you can, to do the absolute most that you can for what and or whoever this is, you could end up making a small mistake. Now, that's all this is going to be, is a small mistake, unless you refuse to acknowledge that you made it. Right? I feel like before the universe advances you in whatever this is, so, advances you to the next stage of a relationship, or brings to you the ultimate partner that you've been waiting for, or advances you in work, like whatever this is that you're looking to advance in or become a part of, the universe is testing you to make sure that you can be humble enough to be like, oh, you know, I made a mistake there. And that's really hard to do sometimes, especially when there are people around us who so badly want to see us fail. So even if we mention like the littlest, tiniest mistake, they're all over it trying to make us look bad. I have someone in my life who has criticized me to the point where when I speak to them now, I stutter. I can't form a full sentence to this person without stuttering because I know that they're picking every single word. Like if I say, oh, you know, at 3:15, I went to the bus. Oh, 3:15, because you told me you were at the bus at 3 o'clock. You know what I mean? And I know that's coming. I feel like you have someone around you like that too. Maybe not to that extreme. It doesn't matter. Don't think anything more about them. Thank you so, so much, Miss Pixie. I really do appreciate that. It means the world to me and it helps me so much. Kelly, this is like act as if, right? Fake it until you make it. And that is not a bad thing. People are always like, oh, you know, being fake is never a good thing. That's not true. Fake it till you make it. Learn in the process. Don't go into something assuming you know everything. Okay. Be accountable. And I feel like there's some sort of, I want to say promotion. Okay. But it doesn't have to do with it doesn't necessarily have to do with your job. So in the next couple of weeks, you're going to be gaining, obtaining, achieving, receiving recognition for. There's something here that it's like you've earned this. You've worked so hard for this for so long, and you're finally, at the very least, being acknowledged for it. Be humble about it. There are going to be people, or at least one person, that's going to be like, you don't deserve that, or she doesn't deserve that. Don't let them penetrate. Like, don't even pay attention to them, because the people that feel like you do deserve it are the ones that matter, right? They're the ones that, or I'm sorry, the people that are in charge of giving you the reward, or giving you the acknowledgement, or promoting you, or, you know, asking you to take something to the next level. Those people, the people in charge, or the person in charge, feels like you did earn this. You are good enough. You did do well enough. So the only thing listening to negativity, and this is anything having to do in your life in the next 2 weeks and going forward, the only thing allowing that negative talk, those negative thoughts, that negative energy being aimed at you, allowing it to penetrate and actually make any kind of difference in your life at all, the only thing that does is like brings down your energy and makes it less enjoyable to be doing what you're doing. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing, thinking, saying, feeling about you. Focus on Kelly, what Kelly knows, what Kelly's got to do. And again, if you make a small mistake, call it out. It won't be a big deal. Then nobody can say, you know, oh, she did that and she didn't say anything. Like, put everything out in the open, all of your cards on the table in a situation. Keep pressing on. Don't be discouraged. Don't listen to the naysayers, and do not give up. If you feel like giving up in some area of your life, particularly in the next 2 weeks, do not do it, because everything that you've been working towards, like the next step towards that ultimate achievement, is right there. You're on the precipice of it. All you have to do is acknowledge a mistake you made, or maybe something you said that wasn't right. There's something here you need to acknowledge, and then you're going to be moving directly forward. Thank you so much, Anna. I lost one of my nails, guys, so give me a second. It's because I talk with my hands and they're always click-clacking. They're always click-clacking away.
Nut slap is next. Then your
All right. You're welcome. I hope that makes sense. I haven't been myself the past couple of weeks. I've been very concerned with a lot of things, and I have to get myself spiritually reconnected. So I'm just glad that you guys are receiving the messages well, and we're still. No, you know what's funny? This morning I had on, they were a little bit longer than this, but not the long ones I showed you that I always happen to be wearing when I have to fry chicken, and I get like flour and breading and egg and like in the, so they were a little bit longer than this. And RJ wakes up and he's like, I want pancakes. So I keep a big thing of frozen pancakes in the freezer, right? And I just like microwave them. But he's like, I want pancakes. I'm like, all right, we can do that. He's like, the homemade ones that you mix in the bowl. And I was like, all right, buddy, we can do that. But as I'm serving him the pancakes and like cutting up blueberries and strawberries and, you know, making him a fruit plate, I realized this nail is missing. It wasn't in the pancakes, thank goodness. It probably fell onto the floor. But the whole time, Ray goes over and he's helping himself to a plate and he's, putting blueberries and whipped cream. And I'm watching him put the whipped cream and I'm thinking, I really hope my nail wasn't in those pancakes. But it wasn't. Nobody bit into it. So, oh yeah, Miss Pixie, it's been really, nothing compared to what you're going through in your loss, but it's been so bad. I just feel like this community behind the scenes is so toxic, and it's like the more you try, so I'm going to do that next time. The more you try to be honest and open and speak and act with integrity, the more people hate you. Like the first thing this person said to me was, no wonder nobody wants to work with you and you're banned everywhere. And I'm like, where am I banned? Am I banned? Like that is news to me. But after what happened with this person's partner years ago, that person did stop me from getting like a lot of interviews and a lot of opportunities. But I feel like I'm doing fine. The only issue I have is that I'm not making enough money. So I have to do things to change that, right? I love what I do. I love hanging out with you guys. I love doing Oracle. I need to get my name out there. I need to do more personal readings. I need to bring more people in. I need to get another writing. Like I need to do all these things. But like professionally, just a lot of the people behind the scenes, the women in particular in this community are, oh my God. I'm not saying anyone specifically, and I'm not saying all of them, because there are some that are beautiful and delightful, like Michelle. Oh my gosh, love her, and many more. But there are some that are just, it's like I look like the mean girl from high school, so they treat me as though that's who I am, right? People have this idea of me based on what I look like, and then when it turns out that I have my own thoughts and opinions and values and feelings, they want nothing to do with me anymore. Smoochy girl, what's up? Yeah, that's what he said. Go ahead and try it. No wonder you're banned. And I'm like, I just want to be paid for the work I did, right? I'm like, keep the revenue. We'll talk about that, later on. And it did show that I was paid, but it showed pending. And this has happened many times where, because I'm always the last to get paid. And this is 3 weeks after the agreed upon pay date. So I'd already waited 3 weeks, right? Very patiently, I might add. And he's like, well, when it goes through, it goes through. Go ahead and try it. Nobody likes you anyway. I felt like I was in high school, people being like, nobody likes you anyway. It was crazy. But you know what? Pride comes before the fall. And I cannot wait, for people to expose themselves,
What goes around comes around.
You've already had to restart your channel several times because of things going on. And I've been there every step of the way, backing this person up and being there, cheering for them and doing things for them, going the extra mile. To be screwed out of the last 150 they owe me. Like they told me that they didn't want me to write anymore. And it was very pleasant. We were still friends until I said, well, what about the extra money you promised me? And what about the revenue for the past 4 months? Once I started bringing up promises made, but you know what? At the end of the day, I take full responsibility because friend or no friend, I should have had a contract in place. Guys, don't forget Encounters with Evil, Volume 2. Yeah, Nutslap, but it's I'll talk to you about it afterwards. It's important. Encounters with Evil Volume 2 is out, and the glitch on Amazon is fixed, so it is available on paperback now, Kindle, and Audible in the US, Canada, Germany, and several other countries. You want an autographed copy, let me know before you make the purchase. I'll just get it, sign it, and send it out to you. Make sure if you did purchase it, you rate and review it on Amazon, because the trolls always go, they're not even verified purchasers, and they always give like the bad reviews, 1 stars and things like that. So I really need a lot of 5 stars to balance that out. I always appreciate it when you guys do that. And I think I announced the release probably around 6 p.m. last night, maybe even around this time last night. And since then, I found out at around 3 this afternoon that it's the #1 new release for the Kindle edition. So I mean, it's doing great. You guys, as always, showed up. This one is not 101 stories. This one is 51. But the reason for that is in 101 True and Terrifying Stories, The First Encounters with Evil, which was the second book I ever wrote, my first ever bestseller, and that went to bestseller on paperback, which was awesome. I only have 2 books that did that. The stories were very short, kind of like my Campfire Stories books or my Gone books. In this one, they're anywhere from like 4,000 to 9,000 words each. So they're very in-depth, detailed encounter stories. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, Nuts Lab. Let's see. This is why I don't do my nails right before stream ever. Because the glue doesn't have time to settle. And yeah, it's terrible. I'm so lucky I have insurance because my medications total, and this is just one medication that I'm on, total for the month come to about $4,500 a month. Hey, Jeff, what's up? Nice to see you. Miss Pixie, anytime, just text me. If that's something you're looking into, I have the perfect publisher. It's a male and female. I only work with the male, but that's just because he's my mentor. They're both awesome. Shannon's awesome. Jeff's awesome. Or if you want to self-publish it, I have a little bit of experience in that. I would love to help you. Just text me, seriously, anytime. That's simple. All right, let's use shadows and light. Someone in my family, and I'm not going to say who because I promised I wouldn't, recently tried to unalive themselves. And it was due to an addiction that they were struggling with. And I don't think they knew really how to deal with that. And I'm so proud of them. They are 11 or 12 days clean right now. And I want to send them the Celebrate Recovery Bible because that's something that helped me. I actually have mine right there. I read through it every morning. And I know it's not for everyone. I'm just saying me personally, I think this person would benefit from it. So hopefully I can do that soon. They're like $25. But they have the workbooks and stuff that you buy with them. Like I've done those workbooks 2 or 3 times. I don't need to do the workbooks again. But I did recently get myself a new CR Bible because my other one was all crazy. Yeah, Miss Pixie, anytime. That's very something I could very easily help you with, and I would be more than happy to help you through the process, show you how it works, or just send you over to the publisher. They do the editing, they do the uploading, they do the cover based on your concept. All you do really is write the book and review the edits and approve them. So either way you want to go with whatever you plan on writing, I would be honored if you let me help you. Sure. All right, Nuts Up. I always forget this card's in here. It's so cute. Strange Valentine. Love is strange. Card number 27. Nutslap, love doesn't always look like we thought it would. Thank goodness. It's in the strange and the surprising that the sweetest loves can be found, and this odd little pair have found, much to each one's joy, comfort, and delight. When this lovely pair, Strange Valentine, comes to visit, you are about to be gifted with love, romance, and friendship from an unexpected or even an unusual place. Don't let differences keep you apart, because they are what is drawing you together, and when you are as delicate and fragile as you can sometimes be, someone as strong and protective as this gorgeous, friendly Yeti can be just what you need. They speak. You have an enormous amount of cosmic help at the moment, and it's all focusing on the area of your love life. You'll soon receive very good news regarding a relationship. You'll also do a lot of work on healing old wounds from past relationships, especially past long-term serious ones. Now, some of this news may not seem so great, but please give yourself a chance to absorb the lessons, because you are moving into a beautiful new phase in your romantic life where you will be free to create a wonderful new love life for yourself, coming very soon. You may experience a massive surge in emotional energy and new romantic beginnings, so it's very likely you'll attract, encounter, or simply bump into someone who reawakens long-lost feelings inside of you and who may not be your quote-unquote type. Hooray! You'll wake up feeling bright, aware, dynamic, and sometimes feeling giddy with delight. This is very good news. Love is indeed strange and wonderful. Dude, I'm just saying, I've been telling you for a really, really long time that love is in the air for you. It's circling you. All right. I feel like you could have recently or will very soon meet somebody who at first kind of puts you off. Like you might end up like really disliking this person at first. Okay. However, I don't know what will happen 10 weeks, 11 weeks down the line, but in the next few weeks, don't let your first impression of someone, particularly someone of the opposite sex, because I know that that's who you date. I'm not being presumptuous. I know that you're straight. Don't let your first impression of someone make it so that you kind of pull away from them for good. Like, don't let that be the only impression you get. Give someone multiple chances, or at the very least 2, to make a good impression on you. I also feel like this could be someone maybe that you already know, or maybe that you're already friends with, where it's like suddenly there are these romantic feelings, right? And you immediately push them aside because of 578,000 different reasons. You can imagine that 2 of you can't possibly end up being together. But guess what? The universe works in mysterious ways, as does God, if that's who you believe in. Love is here, but you have to not decide, she has man hands and just completely, like the Seinfeld episode, whatever, I'm old. You can't just take like these small things, right? You're a Pisces sun. I know that we can be very, very like specific. Like I remember wanting to break up with someone when I was in my teens because we were hanging out in a car and I could hear them swallow. Like they swallowed too loud and it like really put me off. Don't do that. This romantic relationship is very, very important to you and this other person. It's kind of a destiny thing, and it's going to be a cute story. Like when I first met him, I couldn't stand him, or like when I first met her, I didn't want anything to do with her, or we started out as friends and that's all I thought we'd ever be, and then here we are. There's a romantic story being spun here around you, Nutslap, and you're the only one who's not an active participant yet. So someone could also have their sights set on you and you are completely and totally unaware. Keep your mind open, keep your heart open, and don't assume anything about anyone going forward. Get to know people, even if they don't seem like your people. Now, obviously, if someone's a complete D-bag, you don't want to spend time with them. But I mean, like little things like, she made a weird noise when she sneezed or something. Don't do that. So who else is in here who did not get a reading? Because Miss Pixie did just donate, so we'll cover Smoochie. Okay, so Miss Smoochie wants her sister to have her reading, a B-Day reading. Peggy Sue, a Peggy Sue. Well, if there's no one else, we could do both of you. Is there anyone else in here that wants a reading that didn't get one? So Smoochie, I'll do yours and I will do Peggy's. And yeah, thank you, Laura, for making that possible. I always hate turning people away. I have to put my foot down, and I don't do it to be mean. And hopefully I'll get another writing contract or another writing deal where I won't have to charge for these anymore. This is like the smallest bit of income I could bring in for myself. But I will figure it out because I do feel like this is what I was meant to be doing. I just feel like maybe I trusted the wrong people for too long. All right. Miss Smoochie, I'm going to do Fairy Forest. This is yours, and then I will do Miss Peggy's. And I got to remember Tennille's timestamp because she has a very specific question about something happening tomorrow that I want to look into for her. Spring break is over Sunday. RJ's back to school Monday. I had a great week with him. We went to the Liberty Science Center on Wednesday. It was so much fun. I ended up paying for the Titanic exhibit and not being able to go because of the way they had the line formed. It was like a 2-hour line. Oh, yeah, sure. Smoochie, I forgot, but I'll do it for her. So whether you bought, thank you, Anna. Thank you so much. Whether you bought tickets online, which is what I did, I bought them on the way there, or whether you were there purchasing tickets in person, you were all on the same line. So I got there in line at 2:00 for the 2:30 exhibit. I was still in line at 3:45. So I had to leave. All right. Miss Smoochie. Card number 3, the Sorceress. Rituals, power, and will. Thank you, everybody. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. It's time for you to act, to gather together your wisdom in an organized and structured manner and create a moment of power. This can mean a ritual to recognize the beginning of a new stage of the life cycle. Similarly, it could mean setting up an important meeting, ensuring you are correctly prepared, and giving your very best throughout the opportunity before you. Gather together your energy, plan your strategy, and set your goals. Choose your time and choose your tools and meet with all the power you can gather. Before this meeting, whisper to yourself of the goals and your powers. Be sure to fill yourself up with strength and convictions. Raise your head high, straighten your back, set your shoulders, and do not allow any doubt to creep in at this time. Do your homework, be very prepared. And then when that moment comes, let all of this energy and power and self-belief flow out in a very smooth manner. This will help you get through a job interview, a case that needs to be made, and gathering together allies and others who believe in you. It'll also counteract any kind of self-doubt, negativity, or jealousy that may have been impeding your progress until this point. Every ritual of self-empowerment will be divinely blessed at this time. You must work at bringing back your own power, Smoochie, at harnessing your strong and potent will, which has until this time been neglected and underestimated. You are a being of power and commitment. Let us see what you can do when you believe in yourself at last. So, Miss Smoochie, this is you, and we talked about this from the beginning. I pulled the card of Hypnos. This is you sleeping on yourself, girl. This is you, and I know like that sounds facetious and ha ha ha, but this is actually very serious. This is you allowing the way other people around you are behaving to dim your light, to make you maybe not believe in yourself, or make you not say what you mean what you say, to just be like, you know what? This is how it is. I understand this. What's up, Eris? More than I think you know. But this is you kind of not giving up on like life, but just being like, you know what? Why bother trying? Because nobody listens to me anyway. You know, nothing that I say is like penetrating. Nothing's changing for the better. So why bother? And this is the universe telling you, look at her face. She's got kind of a smirk. Like, it's one thing to, yes, Eris, absolutely. It's one thing to decide you're not going to participate in other people's BS anymore, but it's quite another to stop doing things for yourself, focusing on yourself, paying attention to yourself because of the way other people are reacting, right? All that energy you're putting into caring for this person, giving to that person, worrying about this person, doing for that person, do that for yourself. You are worth it. If I have to text you every day and be like, just remember today, you're worth it. All of the energy you were giving out, you're no longer giving. Maybe in small doses, maybe here and there because you feel like you have to, but you're not doing nearly as much as you were because nobody was appreciating it. It wasn't changing anything, like I said. Why are you not pouring into you? You are meant for so much more than what you're dealing with right now. And that's not to say you have a terrible life. It's just there are certain things going on that it's like, okay, you warned everybody this was going to happen. Let it happen. You no longer have to jump in and try to stop, what is it called? To try to stop the consequences of others' actions for them. They have withdrawn permission when they decided not to listen to you, not to participate, not to appreciate you, not to engage in reciprocity with the energy. And like this said, every single ritual you do that involves self will be rewarded tenfold. So keep doing that. You're going to feel better, brighter. And you know what? You're going to start, good night, Mark. You know what's going to happen. Or who said good night? Miss Pixie? Oh, Mark. You know what's going to happen. Now it's about sitting there and just letting it happen. And you don't even have to say, I told you so, because the look on your face is going to say it all. And then maybe they'll come crawling back and begging you to start doing those things again. And you know what? If you pour enough into yourself, you may have to give that some thought. You didn't owe any of these people any of this. And you gave and gave and gave, and they took and took and took. Let them deal with the consequences and repercussions of their own actions and inactions. You did what you knew was right. Now do all of that for you. I don't like that. I resonate with a lot of this sometimes. And sometimes my Irish gets up and I'm just like, Gemma smash. All right. Miss Peggy. Oh my gosh. I'm not going to say it publicly. Don't worry. But I just realized something about your name and your sister's name. That's so cute. And I do too. I look so mean. When I used to go to the bars by myself to do karaoke, when I would go in, everybody would clap because I was fun, right? Like I hung out, but I would go by myself. And when I was in addiction, I didn't drink. So I would drink pineapple juice, and most people there didn't know I was in addiction. I wasn't like a sloppy addict for the most part, out in public at least. So I'd go in and they just thought I was cool, I guess, and they would clap, but nobody would like actually talk to me. I would have to approach others and talk to them. And one night I got messed up enough, not from drinking, but in the bathroom. And I came out and I'm like, how come none of you ever talk to me? I'm like, do I look mean or something? And they're like, yes, you definitely look unapproachable. We call you the ice queen. I'm like, oh, but I guess I put up that barrier inadvertently because people would get inappropriate. So eventually I started going out and I stopped talking to people. And over time, it was like this new group of people in this new place. And I would just bring my dad out with me because then nobody bothered me. I didn't have to worry about like guys hitting on me. I had money for my own drinks. That's one thing my dad always taught me. If you go out by yourself, which you should never do, but if you go out by yourself, I didn't have a lot of female friends and I couldn't be friends with men because they always want something. Always make sure you have your own money. So the bar I would go to for karaoke was like 3 blocks from my dad's house. So I would stop at his house and be like, Daddy, I need money. He'd be like, I don't have any more money for you. And I'd be like, but I'm going to go to karaoke. And he'd be like, because he didn't want to send me out there with, at the mercy of anyone. No, blue is Libra Aries. Gemini, right? Nowadays, absolutely, and I do tend to smile more and I'm more approachable. But even like in my YouTube shorts, people are like, you're a snob, or I'm like, okay, like, do you feel better now? You bullied a grown adult on the internet. Can we move on? Like, I don't know. I know you're Libra Aries, but there's 3. Like I'm Pisces, Libra, Aries. You're Libra, Aries. I think Gemini. I think. Okay. Miss Peggy. Happy birthday, by the way. If you're a sister of Smoochies, then you are awesome in my book. You got card number 8. I'm golden in the upright. Smoochy, didn't you pull this card last week or 2 weeks? Somebody got this card last week. Nutslap, that's because sometimes I feel like people can tell you're going to be brutally honest. And some people don't want to hear the truth. It's one of the things I love most about you. Solid 18 karat, 24 karat, or just gold plated. What does this mean to you? Peggy, are you golden in a way where you have dipped everything in your life into a shiny overcoating, leaving you to feel lackluster on the inside? Or are you truly golden from the inside out, meaning you have tended to your needs both mentally and physically, you have put in the work, the self-love, and have checked your mind, body, and soul, and are feeling above all else full of that golden shine. Know your worth. If you're unsure about something you feel, do a little digging until you get to the heart of the matter. A little personal mining, if you will. Sometimes we need to hack away at the stone to get to our glimmer and shine. When we shine, we leave a little glow wherever we go. Remember, even gold must be pulled from a dull rock. So there you go, Blue. So, Miss Peggy, I don't necessarily see this as a bad thing, but I feel like in the next couple of weeks, as you enjoy your birthday week, your birthday month, moving into this fresh new energy, it's time, or so the universe is showing me, for you to really dig deep and see what in your life can go, right? Like, what can you stop giving energy to? What can you stop focusing on? Whether it's a person, a place, or a thing. People, places, and things that no longer serve you should be on their way out the door. I do feel like there's something in your life, though, that you're struggling with. You may be really unhappy in it. I'm going to use work as an example, but it could be work, romantic relationship. It could be literally anything. Take it as it resonates, where it's like you're happy with everything you've achieved and you've accomplished and that you've done, but you're starting to feel like maybe you're not getting everything that is deserved, right? You're not getting, it's not being reciprocated. This is what I just talked to Smoochie about. Almost the exact same thing, except I feel like it's going to hit you in the next couple of weeks a lot harder. Like, whoa, I've wasted so much time on this. Holy crap. Right? What you do with that information is what's going to matter going forward. Do you sit there and continue to pour into people, places, and things that don't even pay attention to you, let alone pour into you, in the hopes that maybe one day someone or something will turn around and start to give back? Or do you say, you know what? I deserve better than this. I am better than this. You are spiritually well, whether you think you are or not. You're spiritually aligned. You're good. You are coming into this almost radical awareness, not just self-awareness, but awareness of everything and everyone around you and the role they've played in either your happiness or your misery. While you have this special talent, this special ability, this special energetic imprint isn't the right word, this energetic blessing on you, use it wisely and be discerning with who you give to, who you give what to, and who you allow to give to you. Because if we open ourselves up to too many people, eventually we are going to run into people who don't like us, who don't want the best for us. Don't just give to people because they need something, right? If you have someone who needs $5 and you have $20, you don't just give them, this is a ridiculous analogy, you don't just give them the 5 and be on your way like, oh, well, I could do it, so I did. Because then every day that same person could come to you and be like, hey, I need $5. I need, like, there has to be a reason you're giving it. Do you know what I'm saying? Bad analogy. Make sure that anything you're giving to financially, in matters of love, the heart, energetically, spiritually, is giving you a return on your investment. And if they're not, it is time to back out and get away. No looking back and no regrets, because from what I'm seeing, you're golden. You've done everything you possibly could, more like time and again. It's time to stop being the bad guy in other people's stories by being the good guy, right? If someone's not going to appreciate what you're doing, don't do for them. And I know that's way easier said than done, and that's way overly simplistic, but you should be able to resonate with this and take it how it resonates. Really look into backing away and backing out of relationships that don't give you anything but misery, a bad name, right? Someone that you've helped, say, for 2 years, that you've loved and poured into and went through all this BS with. The first chance they get, they're going to turn around and say, you're the problem. That's not love. That's looking to place blame because we can't be accountable. And that's what you're dealing with. Who else is in here? Eris wanted a timestamp. Are we at timestamps?
Yes, we are. I was just reading off names, but most of this. Well, here you go. Andrew left. He's probably on the road. Morbid Princess, if they're...
Well, no, I asked if anybody who came in wanted a reading to let us know, because we're going to end.
Okay. Well,
all right.
Yeah,
this
we're
is
on timestamp.
What?
Yes, we are on timestamps.
This is for Tennille. Then I'll do Casey and Eris and see if anyone wanders in. Smoochie, you know, people like that always do. And it's really hard for people like that to toughen up a little and learn to say no. But I'll tell you what, if she doesn't, it could literally end up being the end of her. And I don't mean that of like a death. I just mean the end of who she is, of that beautiful giving spirit is going to become so used, abused, and manipulated that there's a chance she's just going to turn ice cold and she's not going to be the same person you've always known her to be. It happened to me for a few years. I was just cold. I did not want anything to do with anyone. I was fine being by myself. And I would always say, you know, I barricade myself in my room. I put cardboard on the windows. I had the AC running 24/7. I almost never left. I would leave to go get what I needed, come back in, re-barricade myself. And when my dad would say, why are you doing that? I'd say, because people hurt. People hurt. And it took me years to get out of that. Miss Pixie, wonderful way to put that. Learning to say no is a hard but necessary thing. Absolutely. I'm trying to teach my little guy early, you know, that not everyone is meant for you to help or to be involved with. Some people have to go through their own stuff until they're able to appreciate what it is that's around them. Sunil, you got Isis, card number 25, the card of rebirth. The process of soul retrieval, resurrection, and rebirth is the theme recurrent through the stories of the Egyptian goddess Isis, and one that she invites you to address now. This is a powerful moment to see some of what you thought you'd lost go through a process of regeneration to live again. Like magic, the pieces of you that were considered lost in old wounds and stories are ready to be reclaimed in a healthier, more mature version. Where you were hopeless, there is now hope. Where you lost faith, you have the capacity for even more now. And where there was inequity and injustice, now you can see a better way. Where you were abandoned, now you can choose you. You are ready to face these parts of yourself and to gather them together as you step into a newer, more powerful version of yourself, your work, your relationships, and your creativity. Have courage. Let go of blame, claim your accountability, and then co-create something better. You can do this. The goddess Isis has come to help you as a potent supporter in your growth. So, Tennille, with everything that's happening tomorrow, this is definitely a go, right? You're good to go. It's going to work out exactly as planned. Everything good. I don't see any issues or complications with this one card. And I think we're close enough that I would have intuited it and told you anyway. Go and do it. Get it done. You're going to be absolutely fine. I don't see any risk here other than whatever the normal risk is for the procedure you're having. As far as everything else in your life, this really is kind of the golden era, right? This is everything changing for the better, very slowly, but very surely. Celebrate even the tiniest of wins, okay? Celebrate the smallest victories. I know it's so hard that it's like, yes, we got our favorite driver back. He's so amazing. So glad to have him back. We have to pay $10,000 for a transmission for the truck. It's very hard not to focus on that 10 grand or whatever, however much it was. I'm just throwing a number out there, right? But if you can turn your focus to the fact that you got the driver you wanted, things are going to be just fine. The more energy, where you put your energy is where things are going to grow. Right? I don't remember the exact analogy. Hey, Heather, but whichever wolf you feed is the one that's going to grow and take over. That's what's happening here. If you focus on the negative, and there will be constant negative, negative things happening, things not going as planned, et cetera, XYZ. If that's what you can focus on or what you focus on more, that's what's going to grow. You're going to water that and sow that. So try to focus on the positive. I'm doing timestamps, but let me pop out to do Heather real quick. Miss Heather, I'm going to use Dark Goddesses. I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you. Do you want to timestamp Ashley as well, Stephen?
It's not necessary.
Are you sure? We have time.
I mean, if we can, she's real busy. She's got a lot going on. But yeah, we can if you want.
Yeah,
you
we could do that for her. We've got plenty of time.
Okay.
Chang'e, the card of beauty. I love how fancy this is. Miss Heather, Chang'e is the Chinese goddess of the moon. She drank an elixir of immortality and flew into the sky, choosing the moon as her new home. During the Mid-Autumn Festival, an open-air altar is set up under the moon for Chang'e. Worshippers leave our fresh fruits and treats, and in return, she blesses her followers and grants secret wishes. Chang'e is calling on you to see your own beauty. Practice self-love by speaking kindly about your body, face, and appearance. Wear clothing and style your hair in ways that make you feel beautiful, instead of focusing on what others might view as attractive. Now is the perfect time to pamper yourself. Focus your time and energy on what makes you feel good, and you will be as radiant as the glowing moon. Heather, I know this sounds maybe simplistic, but it's not, right? This is the constant criticism of you, of not only what your appearance, but your thoughts, your ideas, your accomplishments, your achievements, your goals, your dreams, your, like, somebody, at least one person, and I think I know who it is, has been so overly critical of you that, like I was just talking to Smoochie about, like, you've given up trying, right? I went through that too. I can relate to that, where I was just like, well, who cares what I look like? Because no matter what I look like, this person is not going to tell me I look pretty. But then I was like, wait a minute. Like, I'm going to tell me I look pretty, right? I'm going to be confident in me. I'm going to wear my wigs out in public, no matter who likes it. I'm going to dress how I want to dress, regardless of who likes it. And it gave me so much more confidence in my life. Heather, again, with everything going on with you, this may seem like a very small, insignificant thing, but it's not. Somebody is slowly but surely, or maybe they've already done it, stripping away your confidence. And the reason this is talking about looks is because, like, that's the most insignificant thing. Pretty soon, what's up, Bat Mom? Pretty soon it'll be, if it's not already, that they're trying to stop you from achieving things because they don't, want to see you succeed, or because they claim to not believe in the same things you believe in. Start with looking how you want to look, acting how you want to act, being who you want to be, and doing what you want to do. All of these things individually are less insignificant than as a whole. Heather, in the next 2 weeks, do not let anyone dull your shine. Okay? Don't let anyone, I get comments all the time where people are like, oh, that looks like my Halloween costume wig, or somebody come get their mom, or your teeth are effed up, or ew, this, that, or the other. And for me, it's always like, wow, it's so good to see people that are more pathetic than I feel sometimes, right? That's a them problem. This person who is constantly criticizing, putting you down, not allowing you to be who you truly are, not wanting you to shine, it's because they're weak. They're spiritually weak. They might be physically weak. They're definitely mentally and emotionally infantile. And the more confident you feel in how you look and how you're presenting yourself to others, it's going to bring in more opportunity than if you don't bother trying and just walk around looking how you sometimes feel, right? Act as if. This is definitely acting as if. Act as if you're a bad B word and you're the hottest thing since sliced bread, even though I know that's not the saying, but I couldn't think of what I was going to say. And put yourself out there. And whoever doesn't like it, that's a them problem. Keep achieving, keep winning, keep doing, keep being amazing. Don't let anyone take that from you. Yes, we did. Spring break week. Heather, I get it. I realized it's like these, why am I giving so much power to other people? Does it hurt? Sure, it does. Especially when it's like a random person that doesn't know anything about me. They're just there to be mean, right? And it happens all the time because I'm a public figure, technically, right? People think they have an ownness of me because I do social media. But at the end of the day, they're not affecting my bag, right? I put a video out yesterday and I was like, look, I'm sorry if some of y'all don't like the fact that I sometimes speak on divisive issues, that I have my own thoughts, values, opinions, feelings, wants, needs, morals, and I'm not a clown for you. But y'all aren't paying my bills, right? Until this is an actual job, I try to be giving and nice to everybody, and I want to help everybody. And I want to make sure the help that I can give is accessible to everyone. But I also want to earn and gain and achieve and succeed as well, right? So it's got to be a give and take. If all someone gives is negativity, number one, you don't have to take it. And number two, don't even bother giving it back. Just focus on you. It's really hard to train your mind to do this, to not seek validation, particularly from the people you care most about. But trust me, once you can do that, you are going to feel a freedom unlike anything you've ever felt before. Because then when people judge you and people say things like that, it kind of just goes in one ear and out the other, because you have found who you are as a person. It's hard and it's a process. And it took me a good 1.5 to 2 years to finally be comfortable enough to say, sorry, that's what you think. And like really mean it, right? Not just saying that. Does it still hurt? A little bit, but validate yourself. You absolutely can. You have so much to be excited about and to be proud of. So start with how you look. I don't know why that's going to be important in the next couple of weeks, but make sure if you're out there, you know, you're not taking on what someone else is putting you to be or putting on you to be. Good. Now turn that same energy towards the people that you care about that are critical of you, right? It's hard not to care what they think. But sometimes you simply can't, because it will take you out. And that's the thing. Like if they were coming at me like about the content, I always said that. I'm like, I am more than willing to listen, right? If you have an issue with the content or my facts or, you know, but it is always about the way I look. Always. I've got to use the little girls' room. We'll do Batmom, Casey, Eris, and Ashley.
Okie dokies. I hope everybody's having a good week so far. You heard how she was going to call it, so I don't need to repeat it. I hope everybody has a good Easter for those who celebrate. Enjoy the family time if you're going to be with them. I should be around here somewhere. Who knows? But other than that, enjoy your weekend. I hope the week was good. Hope next week is even better if it wasn't a good week this week. And let's see what else. I guess that's it for me. So I'll let her control the list from here on out. And it is, isn't it? It's very sad, but typical. Very typical. That's nothing new. It's been like that forever, but it's just gotten worse now.
All right, Miss Batmom. Let's do the Seeker. It really is, Miss Pixie. And it's like, it's been that way my whole life. I've always been, and I'm not bragging, but I've always been pretty smart, right? I was in the paper a couple times in like 1st and 2nd grade for getting the highest test scores in my county. Back then, they didn't have like advanced preparation classes, so they would skip you a grade. If my parents had allowed it, I would have skipped 3rd and 5th grade. But it was always, oh, look at your long, beautiful legs, or look at those beautiful eyes, or you're so pretty, you should be a model. So much focus and emphasis was put on that on me as a child that I started to think like school isn't important. It's about how I look, right? And that's a dangerous thing when we teach kids that. Not just little girls, little boys too, but little girls specifically. From a very young age, I was told how beautiful I was. I should be a model. And looks. Forget my straight A's, forget my honor roll, forget being student of the month, forget being student of the year, forget perfect attendance. It was just about how I looked. All right, Miss Batmom. Batmom. That's exactly what it is. It's the lack of consequence. That's why most of the time I don't give it back to them. Sometimes the most I usually say is, it's obvious you're jealous of me. But what I mainly will say, and it's the same response almost every time, is, okay, now that you're a grown adult trying to bully and body shame another grown adult on the internet, do you feel better? Or I'll say something like, wow, yeah, that really sucks for me, but at least I'm not so pathetic that I'm a grown adult with nothing better to do than bully and body shame another grown adult on the internet. And then I block them so that they can see my comment, but they can't respond back. Batmom, love your inner child. We all possess a child aspect. This part of our psyche is the vulnerable, sensitive, and carefree child who still feels awe and wonderment. If a child is taught to fear, the adult they become may harbor a wounded inner child aspect. As a direct consequence, they could develop a range of maladaptive behaviors in order to cope. They do harm to themselves to avoid remembering. They can grow to become perfectionists or people pleasers to whom the words sensitivity, vulnerability, play, and nurturing are anathema. To ask for help is considered a weakness to someone who will only ever show strength. To work with one's inner child, to be asked to revisit the past takes courage, especially when it requires looking at our relationship with our family or primary caregivers. Understand, this isn't about blame, but about accepting that a child is not responsible for a parent's actions or behavior. Shame and guilt are not a child's burden to carry. It's time to put that burden down, Batmom. This is a card of choice, opportunity, and healing. It's your choice whether you look back to seek answers. But even if you choose not to, it's as an opportunity. It is an opportunity to parent your inner child in a healthy, loving, and nurturing manner. It is also a gentle reminder to make time to laugh, play, and see the beauty and magic that exists in the world around you. Batmom, taking everything so seriously all the time because you feel like you don't have a choice, right? Everything is so freaking serious all the time. Whether you want to do actual inner child work and look back on your traumas and how they affected you, which usually does require a professional, whether it's a spiritual teacher or healer or, a psychiatrist or something like that. I kind of did it on my own with a lot of research and a lot of, talking to my guides and all that. The main thing here, though, Batmom, is to understand that, well, for you in this reading, I wouldn't say it's what the card is about, but for you in this reading, what you're meant to understand in the next couple of weeks is that, and for some reason this will come up if it hasn't already, that when you were a child, you had no control over how you were treated, right? And I don't think you were treated very well because I can see your little you, right? Now you can control how people treat you. Right? And not in a way that you can force someone to love you or be kind to you or to give back or to appreciate you, but to the point where you don't have to allow anyone in your life that you're not comfortable with being there. You don't have to accept what others name you as or call you or say about you. You don't have to become what others believe you are or should be. You have complete and total control. And for children that were treated poorly, and I, again, know this very personally, it's almost impossible to understand that we don't have to accept toxicity, abuse, mistreatment. I feel like, and this is another running theme tonight in these few readings I've done, I feel as though you are at a breaking point with someone in some area of your life. And I guess that's general because most of us do have that one person we're just fed up with. But for you, this is something much more because the way you're being treated by this person and the way you have been treated by this person brings up a lot of, whether you realize it or not, crap from your childhood, your past. If you look at this person or this group of people, whatever it is, I'm pretty sure it's one person, but it could be more. Again, take it as it resonates. And you look at how you were treated by a certain person in your past that maybe you've cut ties with because of how they treated you, you've just replaced one for the other, right? You just got rid of this a-hole person who didn't treat you well as a child and who you owed nothing to, and you decided, you know what, no more. And you allowed the very same person with a different face to come in. You have to change the narrative, change the I am. And I was just telling Heather about this in a similar way, where it takes time. You have to train your brain to feel like you're good enough, pretty enough, smart enough, successful enough. But good enough for whom and for what? The answer to that should always be for you. Do you feel comfortable in your own skin? If not, why? And then change that. Do you feel good about something that you did or said? If you do, then feel good about it. Don't let anyone else take that from you. And if you don't, do what you can to fix it without wallowing, groveling, and having someone holding it over your head. You are surrounded by toxicity. Most light workers do tend to be in romantic relationships, or even our friendships and our relationship with our family, like, that are so toxic and so hypercritical and so just dysfunctional that it becomes normal for us. But somebody has to break that cycle. And Bat Mom, I feel like there is something that is just going to trigger something in you in the next couple of weeks, where you look at your kids or your grandkids or someone you care very much about from maybe a younger generation. You're like, no, I am not going to let this person or these people end up where I am mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, whatever. But you're not. Somebody has put that on you. Nobody grows up thinking they're toxic for no reason, right? We're not born thinking we're toxic. We're actually born like little sociopaths, where we think the world revolves around us and we're the best thing, again, since sliced bread. Somebody has put that on you. In the next few weeks, I really think it's going to be almost profound for you, right? We subdue ourselves. It's going to be so profound, like this moment of clarity where you finally understand that you've replaced one toxic person from your past with another. And if you don't make changes soon, not changing everything about yourself to please someone else, but changing enough to be to where you're comfortable in your own skin, to where you're happy with who and where you are, regardless of what anyone else thinks. And it sounds like I'm speaking gibberish because I know how hard it is to actually put these words into action. But I'm telling you, if it's coming up in your reading, the opportunity will be there. You just have to become fed up enough with being treated the way you are. Look at your grandchildren. Look at your kids. Look at, someone from a younger generation that means a lot to you. How would you feel if they felt inside the way you do? And how would you make sure that didn't happen? Then start practicing that on yourself. You deserve to be happy. You deserve loyalty from the people you're loyal to. And anyone who can't see that is missing out. You're amazing. You're funny. You have my kind of humor, right? Me, you, Smoochie, like, and all of us in here. We're all from such different backgrounds, such different people, but there's this spiritual connection that brings us together. We've all been through such similar things. And here we are in different phases of healing, in different stages of our lives, going through all different things. But at the end of the day, what brings us together, I really believe, is a spiritual connection from traumas we've been through. I can resonate with almost every single reading I give you ladies. Every week. Almost every single time I can resonate with something in the reading. That doesn't happen with just anyone or with the general readings I do. It's with you. So I know it's hard, and I know sometimes even conceptualizing something like this is hard, but I feel like you are just being pushed beyond your limit to accept. And you're going to start either giving it back and becoming just as toxic as the people around you, which is going to then teach the younger generations around you that look up to you, because there is someone here that I'm seeing that's how you behave, or you're going to rein it in and completely cut these types of people off, even if it's little by little by little, even if it's just emotionally disconnecting. Now, I used to think emotionally disconnecting was a great way to go when you couldn't physically escape. And it turns out it is. But like my counselor said to me, if you do it for too long, you're just re-traumatized over and over again every single day. And I realized that was true. So even though I'm emotionally detached, I'm still terribly disappointed every time somebody says they're going to do something and they don't. Even though I know in the back of my head they're not going to do it because we've been doing this for years and years and years. I'll do this. Oh, okay. Thank God. Thank God you're going to do that. Why didn't you do that? Because I didn't. And like, this is the roles we play. So even though I don't cry or rage about it anymore, now I'm just holding it all in. I'm just seeing lower and like energy. So it's like a younger generation. Possibly could be female, or it could be a male with a lot of feminine in their birth chart. Somebody is looking to you, or will be very soon looking up to you. And if you don't change something, no judgment or indictment, again, because I know it's hard, it's like they're going to grow up thinking they're their own toxicity, or they're going to get into a situation very soon if they're older where they're going to follow your lead. You have an impact on this person's life. It could be more than one. Daughter. I don't want to say your daughter being mad at you doesn't matter, because it absolutely does. But I feel like the way through that could possibly be to work on you. Like, what are you willing to accept? You don't want your daughter mad at you. I hate if my sons were mad at me, I would freak out and I'd be terribly upset and I'd try to fix it. But it depends really what the situation is, right? Is she mad at you because she knows she can take things out on you and you're just going to accept that? Is she mad at you because now all of a sudden she feels like maybe you failed her in some way? And I don't expect you to answer this. These are questions for you. Or does she have a legitimate reason for being angry with you? And if you can accept that, then you can talk to her about it. But this could also be something that's just being placed on you, because that's originally what I saw. It's like people placing things on you and you just saying, okay, I'll take that. Okay, I'll take that. Okay, I'll take that. Just taking on everyone's BS all the time and taking responsibility for things that have nothing to do with you, simply because it's easier for people to place the blame on Batmom, because Batmom's the whipping girl. Batmom's the one who will take it and not say anything or not say much, until eventually Batmom explodes and then has to apologize and pulls everything back together. And then we keep doing it over and over again. You are not, then if she doesn't want to hear the truth, look, I don't know the situation. I'm not a doctor or a psychiatrist, but I'm telling you spiritually from what I'm seeing in front of me from your team, specifically concerning you. Okay. If she doesn't want to hear the truth, then you have to kind of accept that, and you have to live in the truth yourself, right? Be the truth, be your own truth. You have to change certain patterns of behavior. And I think one of the main things here is accepting everyone's BS as is. All right. Oh, sweetheart. Hey, I missed you too. You've got to accept things as is and not change the narrative just to make someone happy or to make someone comfortable. I feel like you've done that probably your whole life, just to be accepted or to get someone to stop complaining or to get someone to not be mad anymore. Now is the time, and that's probably why this is so important, that you need to stand in what's actually happening, what's actually going on, and refuse to budge. This is the truth, and that's it. There's no your truth, her truth, his truth, and I'm not making a political statement. I'm just saying in Batmom's situation here, there is the truth, and then there's lies. Don't be bullied or guilted or shamed into changing the narrative. Julie girl, I'm going to read for you. Then I've got some timestamps. We're going to end early tonight. I hope you're doing well. I'm going to use Della Nawait. You're very welcome. And you know, I'm serious. It's so easy to say, you know, oh, you know what? You're right. I was wrong. Just to kind of like ease the tension. And light workers tend to do that. We don't like conflict. But you can't do that in this instance. You are going to do your daughter and yourself and anyone else that's involved a huge injustice if you change the narrative just so that she's not mad anymore. We have to face the truth in life, no matter how hard it is. Stand strong. If you're definitely not in the wrong and she really doesn't want to hear it, then that's, yeah, because yes, exactly. We're already dealing with so much. Guys, I can see it. Do you have any idea on a daily basis what you people, meaning you guys in my chat, the light workers, the people with special abilities, the spiritually aligned, what you come into contact with all day long? Because I know for a fact, if you come into 10 demonic entities and 150 lower vibrational beings that are trying to suck you dry and feed off your energy and hurt you in some way, that would be a little bit compared to what you actually face. Okay? It's not a joke. We are so sensitive to it in this community that you don't even realize that's why you're doing it. You've got 5 entities trying to suck you dry, a demonic entity trying to attack your energy, and then you've got a human being throwing, accusations at you at the same time. You're not aware of any of this. You just feel beaten down, but that's why. It is why so many of, oh my God, Miss Pixie, so well said, is why many of us end up as a recluse. Jules, I'm so glad. You are literally dying because of it. All right, let's read for Miss Julie Girl. I can clean up my mess I made by accident. Maybe get some yoga in. Alice in Wonderland, card number 2. Spring break is finally over. Back to school Monday. So, like I said, I love spending the week with him. It's just hard because I can't get much done. We had so much fun at the Liberty Science Center. I wish I could have seen the Titanic exhibit. I was trying to get a refund. I was like, the way you guys had your line formation is the reason I missed the exhibit. But they're like, yeah, no, we're not refunding anything. I was like, okay, gonna have to go back. Miss Julie Girl, I saw once a white rabbit running on the grass. As I'm a curious little girl, I followed him, and this led me to discover a land like no other, full of mad hatters, short-tempered queens, and sly cats. Everything there was purely senseless, but I saw lots of wonders and learned many things. Therefore, the journey was worth it, even if it was maybe only a dream. Something or someone is calling to you. You're about to discover a brand new land, which you'll have to acclimate to. You won't get all the rules at once. Some things will appear most peculiar to your eyes and even lacking sense. And you'll also feel disorientated at times, but don't let that stop you. Be open and be curious, crave to uncover wonders, and remember that this journey you're embarking on is really worth the while. It is really one that you'll never forget. So, Jules, I feel like as much as you maybe don't want to go on any strange adventures or open yourself up to these wild new experiences or meeting new people, it's going to kind of be inevitable in the next couple of weeks. You can go out to the grocery store and end up, there's something here though that you're meant to do. You're meant to discover or uncover about something, right? I feel like, just for example, you're looking more into spirituality and centering yourself and coming into line or path with your contract. This is just an example. And you go to the grocery store to pick up milk, eggs, cheese, and bread and the essentials because you ain't leaving your house for the next 3 weeks. And you see a little flyer with one of those little pull things that's like, spiritual contract centering, right? Like you're about to step into this whole new world. And I do think it does have something to do with spirituality, but I don't think it's going to be what you expect. This is like the one person where I don't want to say too much. I don't know if I'm free to speak. But where you were trying to help someone and it ended up that you sensed a demonic attachment on them. And then you were having trouble with negative entities. It's going to be something like that, but in a higher vibrational way. Whereas you don't really know what you're getting into. You feel kind of led to become involved or to join in with what and or whomever this is. And then you end up going on this amazing enlightenment journey. This doesn't mean you have to travel anywhere. It's probably something you can do remotely, but I do feel you stepping more into, your spiritual power, because now you've cleared and you've cleansed. And maybe you didn't do every single thing we were going to talk about doing. I still want you to do the salting and all that. But I do feel a big release of a lot of what was around you and attached to you. Now that you've learned how to protect, get yourself out there, join a group or a club, or even get to know somebody who maybe you feel you should go up to and talk to. I don't know if this is making sense right now, but I feel like while it's happening, it will start. You'll be like, oh crap, this is what Gemma was talking about, right? If you feel something negative coming off of someone or a group of people or some area, don't go there. But I feel like you're being positively drawn into something very magical and very spiritually saving for you, like something that's really going to boost you. But I feel like it's a passing thing. So it's not something you're going to be in forever. It's kind of just like how Alice kind of followed the white rabbit and then went off on her own Wonderland adventure. This is just to lead you into the next phase of your spiritual life. So don't cut or block anyone out, anyone new, any new ideas coming in, any new things. You could even come across this on the internet. I do see you actually leaving your house to go do something very benign and then being like, wow, if I had never left my house today, I never would have found this. Okay. Make sure, as always, you're not taken for granted, taken advantage of, manipulated, guilted, none of that. This is all positive energy. Jules, we can do that. You just have to wait until Monday or Tuesday because I've got little man home with me for the week for spring break. But we can definitely do that. We can do a quick video call. You can tell me what's going on. I can talk to you about, because you purchased the box, so we do have to kind of go back and forth on that. It's just been really hard for me this month, but I've got all the time in the world. I just lost my writing job and my final pay was withheld. We can talk about that. It's been a struggle, but I'm open and I'm ready. And I would love to help you with that because I feel like you need to be rid of that so you can step into this new spiritual phase in your life. And it's coming in quickly. So, all right, let's do Eris. Timestamp Eris, Wisdom of the House of Night. Actually, Sunday, well, Sunday's Easter, so I was going to say I'll be free at night, but I won't. I'll be cooking Easter dinner. So it does have to wait till Monday, but you can message me in the morning or whenever you're free, anytime after 9 a.m. Between 9 and 2 is a good time for me because that's when I'm by myself. All right, Miss Eris, High Priestess of Air, card number 6. And I'm just assuming Eris paid here. Actually, it was covered. Whether she did or not, I didn't even think about that. You have drawn the symbol of the vampire High Priestess of Air, the goddess of rational thought. Logical thinking, reason, and using your mind to consider the next right action are the qualities encouraged by my High Vampire Priestess of Air. Vampire High Priestess of Air. Now is the time to think before you act. You are blessed with a wondrous mind and imagination. Your ability to communicate is enhanced when you meet the High Priestess of Air. Eris, this is the moment to have reasonable conversations and make calculated decisions. Good night, Miss Pixie. Thank you so much, sweetheart, for coming in and for your generous donation. I do appreciate it. Made it possible for others to get readings, and I always appreciate that. Eris, do not act unreasonably. Like, no split-second decisions in the next couple of weeks. I feel like, just like I've been saying all night, you've been pushed too far or things have gotten way too out of control, out of hand. Somebody is waiting for you to do just this, to snap, to yell, to scream, to make a hasty decision that ends up being the complete wrong decision for you. You know exactly what you want, what you intend to do, where you intend to go, what you need, etc. You know all this. You're super smart and you're super spiritually aware. So don't make any hasty decisions. Don't sign anything without reading the full contract, right? Don't purchase anything without reading the fine print. Make sure that any decision you make that involves another person or other people, you put a lot of thought into, because I feel like somebody is trying to trip you up and trick you into doing something that you never would otherwise do by making it sound like really pretty, right? Like, you want to buy this haunted, long abandoned mansion for $1 million, because, whatever, like somebody's selling you something. And if you don't stop to think, you can get caught up in the fantasy and romanticism of it all, whatever it may be, and end up making a really bad decision that's going to have consequences far beyond anything you can imagine. So in the next couple of weeks, don't make any major decisions. Really, really think things through, particularly major decisions like moving, purchases, anything having to do with legal matters or romantic relationships. Like, really know what you're doing and what your intentions are behind the decisions you're making. Because if you act hastily, or if you act without thinking, or act out of rage or anger, or whatever the case may be, if you make an emotional decision, you are going to regret it for a very long time coming. Let's do Ashley. We're using Goddess Power, and then we'll do KC, and we shall end. No, Jules, that's okay. As long as we're still here. We almost ended, but then a couple people popped in. So I got you. See you next week. We will be here. That's too many. I need one, please. Are these all in the upright? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, you can also text me for sure. I think that we should also, though, do a quick, at least a quick video session. But if you want to just let me know what's going on, and then Monday I'll be more prepared to help you, that would be absolutely fine. Yeah, type at me soon. She ordered a box from me. And we went over some of the stuff. I don't have a printer, so it's kind of hard to mail the instructions. So whenever someone orders a box, I kind of keep myself open for a few weeks after, so that I can make sure that they're utilizing everything, and that everything I sent is helping in the way it's supposed to. And I really dropped the ball with her on that one. So, Jules, anytime, sweetie. All right, Miss Ashley, you got Ariane Rod. Card number 3, the card of time in the reverse position. Ashley, do you worry there isn't enough free time, or enough time, or that you might be running out of it? Do you feel that you're too late, too stressed, or too overwhelmed to get to where you need to go? This attitude is fueled by fear, which has a strange and unusual power to contract time. Ariane Rod, the goddess of time, has an alignment task for you. Breathe deeply and trust the process. Know that even if you're temporarily struggling, you'll always have enough time to choose how you experience your own reality. You can always course correct. Consider this truth. Struggles, disappointments, or seeming delays are all part of the experience of life on life's terms. Yet Ariane Rod says this too shall pass. When cool heads prevail and faith steers your course, treasure is never far away. Call on the goddess Ariane Rod when you begin to feel overwhelmed, and she will remind you of these truths. Everything, I know this is going to sound so cliche. What's up, Jarvis? Everything is happening for a reason. Even the things that are seemingly very, very, thank you, Julie girl, negative, okay? Even the things that seem like there's no chance that there's anything redeeming in them, it is all happening for your own good, even if you can't see past the struggle and pain of it at this time. I don't expect you, nor does the universe, to be like, oh, okay, then everything that's happening is great. I'm not struggling anymore. No, of course not. But sit and really think it through and have faith in the fact that the universe has got your back. All of this is happening for your betterment, for you to expand and grow and learn and achieve and succeed. If you can look around you and try to turn any of the negatives, even just one, into a positive, you'll be better able to see that not everything that seems bad for you is. There are things happening right now that you can't possibly understand because you're seeing things from a human perspective through no fault of your own. You're human. But if you try to think of things on through an eternal lens, from an eternal perspective, that could really help you come into a better alignment with what you're dealing with and why. Take a time out, pray if that's what you do, ask for spiritual guidance from your guides, write things down, keep a journal, anything you can do to kind of calm and ease your mind, because you're another one that I'm seeing, if you just snap and lose it, you are going to make things so much worse for so much longer than if you just let a cooler head prevail. Take a step back. Why is this person goading me? What about this situation is making me feel so triggered or provoked? Really trying to understand why you're going through what you are. Jarvis, what's up? Would you like a reading? Because we're about to end. I have no problem giving you one. It's already paid for. Just let me know while I read for Miss KC. Lukum Spookum, what's up? We are using Moonology. All right, Jarvis. Yeah, we're ending early tonight. Spring break. It's been a long week for me. Look at you guys fighting over blue. I could see him over there blushing. All right, Jarvis, here we go. Actually, no, I'm sorry. This was KC. You'll be next. KC, new moon in Aries. Go for it. And this seems to be kind of a running theme in your readings. It's just like, just go for it. Just do it. Stop worrying about what everyone else is going to think, say, want, need, feel. And I know that's hard because you're such a mama bear. Casey, this card heralds good news. Opportunities abound and the outlook is positive. Go through the doors that are opening up to you. There's every reason to believe you'll create what you want, even if you feel a long way from your goal. Keep going and be courageous. Chase your dreams with childlike enthusiasm and expect your desires to be satisfied. Expect them to be satisfied. Don't sit around making plans. Do take action. This is crucial. Chase your goal. Believe in divine timing. In love, make the first move if you dare. Financially, be proactive. This card is an especially good sign if you need more courage or determination, or if you're chasing something. Your manifestation affirmation: I am on the right track. Soon I will. Lukum, it's good to see you. Miss Casey, this is like acting before you have time to talk yourself out of it in some area. I know this isn't love, romantic love, but this is definitely something maybe that you're financially invested in, emotionally invested in, something you feel very, very strongly about. I actually keep hearing a hill you're willing to die on, right? I don't know why I heard that, but you know what I mean. This is something you're willing to stand on business about, and you're very, very sure of and confident about doing. So the universe is like, why are you taking the time to talk yourself out of it? It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, says, wants, needs, or feels. You have gone through a terribly horrific tragedy, right? Last October. And you're still dealing with the devastation and the devastating effects of that. One thing you can say, though, is like, now, like, who do you really have to answer to? You never had anyone you had to answer to, but now, like, who do you feel inclined to answer to about what you're doing and why with your own life? I feel like you're going to know what this is maybe right away. I don't feel like it's something that's coming in. I feel like it's something maybe you've been kind of dipping your toes into or mulling over a little bit. The universe is like, stop that. Jump right in. Take this leap of faith. Get as involved as you want to be. Become invested in this as much as you want to be. You don't owe anyone explanations or answers, closures. You don't need to take on anyone else's opinions. This is all about you, Casey. And I know that's hard to accept because you're a mama and, you know, you care about other people and how they feel, even if it's to your detriment. But you cannot allow that to happen because you're on a journey. You're on it. It's a spiritual adventure in life. Finding yourself, trying to find peace with things that have happened, trying to learn a whole new way to live. You're not going to do that by constantly and consistently doing the same thing over and over again. The only person you answer to right now is yourself. Ask for guidance from your spirit team. Black Dragon, you guys are killing me. All right, Jarvis, Black Dragon, Lukum, if you'd like a reading, and then I'm shutting it down. So good to see you. I was wondering where you were, though, Black. Jarvis, human spirit. You guys are hilarious. You guys always make me smile. Spill the tea, Jarvis. Card number 43 in the upright. No, not Roblox, Fortnite. I actually want to get some yoga, and I haven't been able to do it all week. We love a good tea party. Whoops, your tea has been spilt by another. Secrets and rumors have a way of flowing out like Georgia sweet tea. Hot or ice, they grow stronger the longer they brew. Now is time to get ahead of it, accept it, and move on. Even a tea party has an end. If you know your own truth, then it really doesn't matter what manure is spread on your proverbial lawn. Take this as a teaching moment to grow rather than simmer and rethink your circle of so-called friends. All right, yeah, Luke, we're here every Friday, so I think I just got used to ending early because people stopped coming in, but it doesn't matter. What? Well, you're over there gesturing and talking, so.
Kept hitting the wrong button.
Oh, okay. You guys are so funny. Jarvis, I do feel like, sometimes as adults, it's kind of silly to be like, someone's spreading rumors about you. But I do feel like somebody definitely has the wrong idea about or has gotten the wrong impression of you. Maybe something you said was twisted, taken out of context, made to be hurtful towards someone perhaps that you care about, or just someone you consider a friend, or someone you don't even know is like coming to you now like, yo, why'd you say this? It sounds so juvenile and so high schoolish that it's like almost not worth our time, except I do feel like this is going to make you feel either very, very angry or like feel really bad, even though you didn't do anything. You didn't say what's being said. You didn't do what's being said that you did. But the universe is saying, listen, you know the truth deep down inside. And if you react or respond, particularly in anger or out of revenge, like to get vengeance, if you seek vengeance here, like it's just going to make it worse. And there's going to be this back and forth and it's going to blow up and it's not going to be good for you or the other party. When if you just ignore it, knowing the truth in yourself, knowing who you are, what was really said or done, and knowing the other person or people involved, if they really know who you truly are, and they know your heart the way I guess you're hoping they would, or maybe that you're hoping they would, it's not going to matter anyway, right? There are some people that you can tell me anything about them, and I simply will not believe you because I know them, right? Maybe this is, in the coming weeks, a way that the universe is going to help you determine and decide who's for you and who isn't, who's just kind of around to be around, and who's around because they're for you. And for some reason, and hopefully this will resonate with you if it doesn't right now, this is important. I feel like there could be someone around trying to maybe manipulate you or pretending to be there for you in hopes of gaining something, even if they haven't made that known yet and you haven't quite figured it out. This is the universe stepping in to show you who's going to be there for you in darker moments, who's really there, as opposed to who's just trying to gain or obtain something from you or from you being in a weak or bad situation. Bye, Lucum. Thanks for stopping in. All right, Black Dragon. Let's do Ancestor Spirit. That is true too. People that know you know exactly what buttons to push. These messages about your body. Treat your body well. exercise, meditate, massage. Nurture your whole self and look after your physical body. People often think they don't have enough time to take care of themselves, but it's about making the time so you have more energy for yourself and for others. Start caring for your body, heart, and mind to avoid tiredness or becoming disconnected from your spirit and energy source. Your muscles would benefit from exercise, and afterwards your energy will flow better and you will feel re-energized. This card may be a sign for you to learn massage, practice yoga, or engage in a therapeutic activity. As you become healthier and more energized, you will be able to help others by passing on your knowledge. If you already teach yoga or provide healing massage to others, this card is a confirmation that you're on the right track, so keep up the good work. I don't necessarily, hey, Tales Told in the Dark. I don't think that you necessarily like this is about yoga or like massage. It could be, but Black Dragon, I feel like this is more of you being a leader in your spiritual journey. Like you're just going around doing, sorry. I'm excited to see you. Thank you for coming in. And yeah, please do. We're actually ending now. We're ending a little early tonight, but always positive vibes. And I always appreciate the view and the love, especially now. Got a lot going on. So thanks for coming in and showing your support. That means the world to me. So cool. Black Dragon, this is you being a leader in your own spiritual journey, right? Like you're just doing what you do. You're very spiritually aware, very energetically sound most of the time. Black Dragon, I would have loved that. One of my best friends in high school, right after high school, his name was Omid, and he was a professional masseuse. Like he went to school for it. He opened his own shop. And I remember just hanging out at the shop, getting massages all the time and drinking. It was awesome. But this is you just doing what you do. And then there are going to be in the next couple of weeks, if there aren't already, like people who are going to want to follow, who are maybe not following like your every move, but like looking to you kind of for spiritual guidance or advice of some kind. Just be sound in the knowledge that no matter who questions you about what, you know what you're talking about. Again, you're very, very spiritually aware. Whether you want to start putting that into practice and helping others and bring them to being more spiritually cognizant and energetically aware, or whether it just happens completely by a happy accident, I do feel like you're going to be positively affecting and changing someone else's or other people's lives in the next couple of weeks. Be mindful of this, that you don't allow people to take too much, because people who are new to this do sometimes overtake in energy, and then you end up drained and maybe uncomfortable, even unhappy where you were happy before. And that's just the energetic vampirism, the drain that happens on purpose or sometimes completely by accident. Just make sure you keep yourself protected, keep yourself vibrating high, and don't let too much of the outside world really bring you down emotionally, because that's going to pull you down spiritually. I do feel like just like everyone else, you're going through a lot, trying to deal with life on life's terms, as they say. But I feel like spiritually, you're so sound and you're so set and aware that you can really, if you're mindful of that, you can really benefit not only yourself, but you could be of great help to the other people around you who are looking for that same kind of serenity and knowledge. Just be really careful you're not vampirically drained on purpose or by accident. Good night, everybody. If you celebrate Easter, have a fantastic one. Have a great weekend either way. And we'll be back next Friday. Like I said, Ghostdragonzw and I, we're looking to do some reaction videos. I'll be reacting alone. We'll be reacting live. Maybe we'll do some reacting together. Like that's where the channel's kind of headed. Just having some fun, doing new things, new live streams. No more pre-recorded script reading. I just can't do it anymore. And it's really not motivating me financially, that's for sure. So I want to bring something fresh to the channel. Just give us a few weeks to dream some stuff up. Keep supporting the shorts. Keep supporting the live streams that we're already doing, purchasing readings, donating through PayPal or Cash App, because YouTube takes half. And just keep sending out those positive vibes, guys. I always do appreciate it. Comment at least 7 characters so that it hits the algorithm, like, share, all that good stuff. And I'll see you at the very least next week. Bye.